Welcome to Euroforum UG, where we address Ugandans from Europe, USA, Asia, Africa, Australia, and all over the globe. We share experiences, opinions, and expertise on current affairs, educative lifestyle, religion, and family matters. Follow, subscribe, and like our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Euroforum UG. You can also join our live shows every weekend on our social media platforms. For more information, visit our social media platforms or email us at euroforumug@gmail.com or WhatsApp us on +4740 574040. Euroforum UG, communicating with peers.
As we're winding up our lunch break, I would like to welcome you once again. It's all right, you can be comfortable wherever you are. And for all the people that are still out there, if you're watching us online, please come in. We are starting all over again our last session of our meeting today. And before we move forward, I would like to give you a small recap of what has happened before. As we started here this morning, we started by the networking of saying hello to each other in the morning. Some of us were here on breakfast. Afterwards, we had our me come introduce myself and leading you through the national anthem. We had the keynotes from the organizing team led by Mr. Ntende Peter. We also moved forward to welcoming our dear ambassador, who was also shared with us. And let's grace her up as she's going for some rest.
She's coming. That's doing injustice.
I am not resting. I'm here to stay with you. I'm just checking out some logistics at the hotel. I'm back. Thank you. I had cut the word. Madam Mutibike Chigambo. Okay. Well, hierarchy does certain things to me. I was raised a Uganda girl. Wherever the elders stand up, so you start to panic, you wonder what's gonna happen. But hey, yes. So we received a message from our dear ambassador, and we had recognition from the entourage which came with her. We moved forward to the introduction of a very wonderful, informative segment by Mr. Chiwanka Arthur, which has helped us also become enlightened. And I know that as we go ahead to share more views of what's happening, what's on our mind, how to move forward with all the information that we've had, we now have a starter. We had an introduction from the panelists, and we will be hearing more from them because now this is the part we're going to know what's happening on the ground, what's their views, and also to find a merging point with your ideas, your feedback, and what we're going to say about it. People who live here as diasporas, people in leadership, and our experiences with the community and the way forward of the diaspora to Uganda. Lastly, yes, we had interactions with the audience. Thank you very much. We can clap for each other, for ourselves. Thank you so much for your interactions. Thank you so much for your questions. That's when you know that people are attentive. That was very massive and very good of you. And right now we will be moving on by starting this session with the chairman coming to give his speech as panelists prepare themselves to come so that we don't take a lot of time here. And also we would like to apologize for all the inconveniences during the lunch session. I'm sure everything is under control now. We will hear feedback offline, offline, so that, so that we can handle whatever was going on quietly. So let's welcome Mr. Ntende to come and take us through his speech as the chairman. Respectively, we applaud you, Sebo. Thank you so much for this platform. Your time away from your family is really a great seed into our soil, and we will take it back with us to appreciate your great innovation. We will be back here massively bigger than before. And each one of you actually is going to act as an evangelist. As a preacher, now I'm speaking. Hallelujah. Each one of you is coming back with a different person next time. Hallelujah. We need an expansion of this. Let's go and tell it on the mountain that we had great, great information come through to us, so that others can also receive a blessing from the knowledge that we've gotten here. Amen. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Mr. Technician, I think we could get a slide. I'm going to use this mic. Yeah, I'm going to be on the mic. So as we get a slide, I think I'll just start by introducing myself because I'm one of the panelists. And just as we had forgotten the MC to introduce herself, so I also forgot. I apologize for that. But I'm Peter Antende, and I've been in Denmark for, I think, approximately 30 years now. Wow. And I've been in mostly in the IT industry, most of my career. And I remember, I think it was 2004. So I was working with Nokia, and I think we're like 1,000 people. And then one morning, I come into the office. There was this African lady smiling, and I said, "Oh my God, she's pretty." But I didn't know that she had started there, you know. So I didn't approach her, and then I was I went, I think, I don't know if it was Skype or something, which channel we're using at that time. Then I went and I tried to say hello, 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 hello. And then I saw the name was a bit African. Then I said, "Hello, Nyabo, do you speak Uganda?" I said, "Yes, I'm Omumbetia." So that's the first time I met Catherine. So she didn't introduce that part, but she's a woman of all words. She was managing actually our entire department in Nokia. It was, I think, 100 people in that section. Yeah. So apart from the entrepreneurial spirit, she's also a great manager and organizer over there. Right now, I'm a founder of a company called Oceans Hub. You might have gotten mistaken because that's the one we're collaborating with to book these appointments and stuff like that, and also collaborating with Stanbic Bank in trying to make everything work out. And it's an IT startup service, which is developing, initially was developing one solution for the maritime industry. That is like within the maritime industry, there are software services which are called voyage management systems. And these ones don't actually talk together very well. So we are developing a middleware which makes these systems talk together for different companies. And besides that, I'm working also as a consultancy. As a consultant, we have a number of IT specialists, both here in the Nordics, but also in Uganda. We develop different different talents in different software solutions. And the consultants part is that either you hire us as a team, and then we take on your software development, or you hire one of us as a consultant. So as a consultant, I'm working for MasterCard as a BizOps engineer. It's something to do with communicating between the developers who are running the systems of MasterCard, and also the clients who are like the banks and card acquirers and payment systems. So when there is an issue between the clients and everything, so they approach somebody called the customer service. And then between the customer service and the developers, they want somebody who knows everything in between there. And so that's what I'm doing with MasterCard. And then our company also is working as I'm working also as a head of IT for another startup called Next Marina, where we develop their solutions, which come up all the time. And then I also do other consultants with other small companies within the IT now and then. We also developed the website, which you see over there. So if you're into IT, or you have an IT problem or issue, or you hear somebody who has an issue, I think the government has a number of issues. We would like to take over these kind of solutions. In the pipeline, one of the products which I think I would like to share, Smokey, do we have the slides?
Yeah, sorry.
We are about to launch a fintech project, which is about to come up. And most probably it will also get to talk with Stanbic Bank. I'm trying to be so nice to Mr. Arthur today. So we'll see. But why I'm mentioning that one is that the reason why maybe most of you see me really energized to see many of you here. I once had a team as a consultant. I was doing consultants for Western Union, for World Remit, for most of those companies. And then in one time, it was World Remit. So I got into the Somali community. And there was one lady, just as we are talking here. So we went and we did some kind of marketing, I think in Malmo and somewhere in Germany. But over the years, now she had me doing my consultancy. And then she decided to invest in one of my companies, $1 million. So that is how these things work. So it's like people, and those are people like somebody here whom I wanted to come up and say, no, don't bring me up. She doesn't even want to come up. She doesn't want to know everything. But it was just, I trust you. You tell me about the money. I tell her you have to get an equity. He said, no. I want you to keep that money. When my son grows, she will take some money. So I just made sure that because the way these investments work, you buy equities and you give somebody their money, maybe in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, when it has multiplied. So that's why I'm telling you that when you are here, you never know how opportunity knocks on the door. Yeah. And before I forget, Ambassador Simon, I don't know, but when we get time, I want you to brief these people. The secretary told me about real estate, especially Airbnb in Uganda. He has something, he will tell you how to make money on that one. So there are some tips. I just remember that he mentioned that one as I was talking, because also I do some small projects also in Uganda on a small scale somehow. So what I wanted to talk about was this idea, because people are asking me, especially people, I don't know if they're online with Mr. Agri, the people who have just come here, and then they wonder whether this is the right place, whether this is the wrong place, and whether you can actually make money here, because we don't see so many millionaires from Denmark who are splashing money in where? In, what's the club called? Is it? Yeah, the white parties in Christmas in Uganda and stuff like that. So people wonder and they say, no, why should we go to the to the Nordics? There's no money. No money in the US, money is in the UK. And I tend to disagree. Maybe we are not so good at showing money, because I think the first millionaire I met in Sweden, actually, it was 3 millionaires. Actually, I met them at once. I was doing marketing within the Nigerian community in Gothenburg, and then because I was doing it for Western Union, these people thought I was a millionaire. So they had put me on a panel, like just we have panelists here, and then when I come there, then there is 2 guys. They were Nigerian, who were into like shipping and stuff like that, and they were the big millionaires over there. But then there was this quiet man, and he was from Uganda. I haven't asked him for permission to mention his name. But he was a millionaire. He was owning over 40 taxis, and we are talking 2009 in Gothenburg, and he was employing most of the Nigerians over there and all other people. Then when he came on stage, he had also been told that Ugandan is coming. So he looked at me and said, how much do you make a year? I even didn't know how much I make. Yeah, I didn't even mind about it, But I remember, I think I was making around 400,000 at that time when we talked with him. And then he told me, how much do you want to make next year? I said, if I get 5%, I'll be happy. He said, why 5%? Why don't you double that? Then he told a small story of how he started and how he was doubling his money. And I think by that time he was starting to make 10 million a year. And then he told me, you have to believe it, and I want you to come here next year and tell me that you have doubled your income. I thought he was joking. But somehow it just kept disturbing me. I said, why? He's not even in IT. He was into mostly trading. I said, he's not even in IT, the things we think, we are very big. How could he make this money? So that's, I think, when my journey for really trying to figure out how money works started. And then I started realizing, that there were a lot of books. I read a lot of books about money. Think and Grow Rich, whatever. I don't know. Your favorite ones, I think. I read most of them.
Rich Dad.
Yeah. And things were not working initially because I was reading and not implementing. And then eventually I got a coach. And the coach told me that it has to do with your mindset. And the way the mindset works, I think it's a creature which is a bit tricky. That we always have our mind, and you can read, and you can make goals, and you can do stuff. But beyond us, there's a subconscious level which determines actually our decisions. So the coach told me, write down the results of last year, economically, family-wise, health-wise. He just told me to write them down. So okay, they're here. So how do you think? Do you feel like you're happy with this achievement? And I was not happy. Actually, I think I had not increased, even my income because he was factoring in inflation and stuff like that. He was saying, given you're losing money. So he said, let's make the results, the goals for next year. Because for him, it's like, the results tell you if you are really doing something or you are not doing anything. And one thing which I tell, when we think about the diaspora, or just a quick question, how many of you here have businesses?
As in business.
Like your business owners, stuff like that. Entrepreneurs, self-employed. Good. That's like half. That's like half or 6, and that's exactly how also I used to think. So all of us here actually are business people. When you look at being a diaspora is a business. So that's like you have to change the mindset actually to see this in the right way. So normally when you think about that, I'm in the diaspora, you think like as a person, you are in some state somewhere. And when you try to define a diaspora, what is that? Is it because you're living abroad? Is it because you're working abroad? Is it because you're wishing to go back home? It ends up not making sense. Until you start looking at it and say, actually, it's a business. And the way businesses work, it's like a business is either growing, it's dying, or it's stagnated. And when you look at the way we usually think about the diasporas, we are stagnated. Why are we stagnated? Because we don't think of it as a business. If it's a business, it has to grow. The time you move into the diaspora, usually you get a boost in your income from what you have been earning, and you get a boost. Most of them, maybe you get 10 times or 50 times from what you used to earn from that time. But what happens after that, that's usually the big problem. And usually what affects us is the mindset, because when we are in the diaspora, we go through a lot of phases. Most of us, when we come here, we get shocked. As soon as we arrive here, you see the snow, you see the white people, maybe you got a job and you're the only person who is there. We get this shock. And after the shocking time comes up, people get depressed. There's these phases of sorrow. If those who read books, they really understand this. So, and if you have not read that one, please read about, these 7 stages of grief, because it reflects actually where most of the diasporas we are and how we stagnate in our business development. So in these stages, people get shocked, and then people get like depressed sometimes. And when they're depressed, some people take 1 year, 1 month, but some people take forever in this phase. So you meet people who are very angry, who don't want to talk with other people, and you say you're in the diaspora. Those people who accept the situation from depression, sometimes you accept and you say, this is where I am, this is my level, let me work with this one, let me learn the language, I can compete. So people who do that faster, they also develop faster. And when you accept, the situation, then you start looking for solutions and you go through all the stages. So, yeah, but the trick is like, how do you go through these stages? I don't know why that one's not sharing what I wanted to share. It should have been in the big screen. But then it's big scale that we end up being in this kind of, the mindset. It's all to do with the mindset. We start feeling like, we are victims. And I'm trying to show Honorable Liga. He will tell his story when he comes on. But very few people would ever think that a Ugandan from northern Uganda would get elected competing in a predominantly white constituency. But he has done it, and I think we are going to vote for him again in November for his third term. I will not tell his story, but that's the thing, that he beat this mindset of being, a victim. So when we have that mindset, we don't usually go as fast as we're supposed to go. Yeah. And that's why you see a few people who are here. Because most of our people, they think that these conferences are for people who are like advanced. They think that they're people who are very rich, and they think that that is not me. I've tried to talk to a lot of people, privately, to say, please, let's come here. We are not like all of us are very rich or whatever, or doing whatever. We just want to make everybody better off. And that's where we're going. And I'm not here to say that, look, I'm making a lot of money and I'm boasting. It's because that once I've been in these coaching sessions for growing money, we start talking about, that you have to scale. And if you want to scale, the presentation was about how I doubled my income one time. But I found it boring after presenting it because it's something in the past, which I did in the past. So the aim is to grow, 5 times, 10 times, and you keep growing. But what happens that if you grow and you reach a level of maybe 4 times of your income within a certain period, it's very hard to go 5 times or 10 times when you don't have a community around you. So communities like you see, especially the Jewish community, if you follow those people, they grow very, very fast because they have the community with them. Here in Sweden, you can see the Turkish people. You can see even Somali people for Africans don't go very far. If you go within those communities, even the Nigerian community. So when these communities come together, you can grow more money. So why I'm really pushing for this and why I keep pushing, even if we have 3 people, is that I want to go 5x, 10x within the next 5 years. And the only reason is because of you people. If none of you makes it, to 2x or 3x, then I can't go that far. That's how money works. You look at any rich person, study any rich person, then look around the circle. Rich people rarely grow rich without growing with other people. So one of the hacks of the mindset, that's why I was happy with the Islamic Bank coming here, how I was making money. Now I'm changing the reason which was there because I wanted to match with what we're having here. One of the hacks I found out very soon in making money is using the banks. And banks are very tricky, that especially here in the Nordics. So banks hate you when you're very poor. And the only reason they hate you is that if you don't make money or you don't make money for them, then they don't like you. As soon as you start making money, banks run to you. So the way I realized this was like the first time I was very frustrated looking for apartments, and I was still a student. So then I went to a bank and I wanted to borrow some money because I ended up looking for an apartment which I thought was for renting when it was for buying. But because my Danish was so bad, I read somebody saying, this is a 2V, which is very cheap. And I rang, and then the people told me, come on, we show it to you. Are you interested? I said, yes. And then they said, no, go and bring the money at the deposit. When do you want to go? I said, next week. So then, for them, they just asked me, how much do you want to pay a month? And that time I was aiming to pay 3,000 Danish krona a month for an apartment.
Volume?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So 3,000 Danish krona, you used to need to save 3 times the monthly fee. So like 9,000, I had saved 9,000. So I thought I had a deposit. So now I talked to this Eyendom's, what is it called?
Real estate.
Yeah, real estate dealer. So I speak to them and I say, yes, I have the deposit, I have the money. They just looked at my income. They said, yes, if you can pay 3,000, you can afford this. We go there, and then they said, when I bring the deposit, I said, I can bring it even now. He said, okay, it's 50,000. I said, what do you mean? 3 months is 9,000. You are saying 50,000. He said, no, but don't you know you're buying? I said, buying what? Buying the apartment. I said, I just want to rent, even if it's a room. I don't want to buy an apartment. Do I even qualify to buy an apartment? In my circles, I've never seen somebody who had bought an apartment. In our circles. And I have a lot of young men who were asking me about, how they should start on their journey, who are here. And I said, that's the way you stretch. the way to stretch, to go from stagnation as a diaspora, as a business, any business, you have to stretch. And the way to stretch is something called like scaling within the IT world, that you don't want your business to just drop. So you have to think of something you think is impossible right now. Even here, when we're here, you think of something which is impossible. Could it be a house? Could it be like the stocks they have been talking about? Just don't go out of here without having an aim. But you have to stretch yourself. So I ended up stretching myself 9,000 to getting 50,000. And I called all the friends I knew. The best ones were telling me, don't go into real estate. You're going to lose money. My banker told me, and this is not against the other, but my banker told me that, no, we can't lend you money. You're a student, you're going to lose this, you can't afford it. So we are not lending you any money. So I said, okay, what should I do? I had a girlfriend back then, and he said, okay, I can help you with, I think it was $1,000. That's all I had, she had said that one. So I went back and I said, now I have, something like 20,000. So the real estate dealer said, okay, that's really good, that's really good, that's really good. So what she did is usually in Denmark, you pay 20% and you get 80% as a mortgage. And then 80% is actually a very, very cheap mortgage, 5%, 3%, and stuff like that. The rest, if you can't raise, like the 5% is deposit, but the 15%, if you can't raise that one, then usually you get it at a terrible rate. That time the normal rate was like 9. But because I didn't have even the deposit, so they got me something like 20% interest rate, but they covered this one, which I didn't have. So I got the apartment. And when I got the apartment, I think I'll cut the long story short. I think 2 years down the road, it had doubled in price. And that time, it's around the same time I think I was working with this gentleman. And then I noticed that I had doubled my income from the last year just by selling an apartment. And then what happened the next year, then I didn't double it, even it reduced. And then that's when I found out, that when the mindset doesn't stretch as fast as when you get the money, you go back. It has a baseline. Yeah. So it's very important that your mindset changes. So if you have seen people who have won lotteries, people who have stolen good money, yes, who have done a deal, who have done whatever, and they get millions, it's very short time that they go back. I was working at one time in a casino. I was again doing IT, but we're doing the casino industry. And then I knew how the algorithms work. I knew how we track people who are like tending to go into like addiction, how to go back from there with those people. So I started seeing the science of even, gambling and how it affects people. And everything has to do with, the subconscious mind. And that's the thing which I wanted to share within these areas. That there are different areas where you work with the mindset to see how you're doing. So, and that's why, I think of these community networks where you can get some of this stuff like information sharing, which we are sharing here. Because what we do mostly in our community, we don't share. We don't share. If you make a loss in Uganda, if you go to Stanbic Bank and you get a good deal, it's difficult to share even when you want. Because Catherine, we talk a lot about business. She had never told me she's a client of Stanbic Bank until Stanbic Bank said, no, babe, I'm a client also there. I said, but you didn't tell me about this bank. So we need to share these informations to see how stuff is going. And this stuff about mentorship in the economy is a bit pricey. But when you get the information, it's a bit cheaper to share it. So the job market is another trap. So I found out that, even if you go into real estate, but where you are, you have to maximize and streamline every place where you want to get as much money as possible from that place. And what happens, I think when we were in Nokia, I spent 10 years. I think that's the longest time I made this money in the career goal. Because in most of these jobs, you get like a 2% increase each year. Unless you are smart, you can get 5%. But what happened after Nokia? I think the first job I got a 20% increase. Then I said, okay, this is how it works. It's not the brand working for a big brand. I started working for small companies, growth companies. Other big companies were approaching me after. The small companies gave me big titles. And I said, okay, this is strange. The people who are staying, those people, I knew a lot of people were very, very smart, very great software developers. And I had an idea what they were earning. Then I was switching jobs and I was getting maybe twice what we were getting. So it didn't work. So there are hacks in changing jobs. But it's very difficult to change a job because you need to have tricks in how to do the CVs and stuff like that. I didn't know those ones. Now, when you get a CV, then the interviews is another hack. If you don't have people who share with you, I don't know how many of you have been on an interview this year. Job interview, everybody who has been on the job interview this year. Yeah, how was it? It can put you down because you got a job interview and people can make you feel like, you know, you are not worth of this. And you can spend another 6 months without really talking to anybody. I've been there because I reached a stage where I was earning some relatively good money and I was like on a C level on some of the management. And those are scale-up companies. So then I went to a big company at a job which is slightly less than the title I had. And then they asked me, how much money do you want? And then I tell them the money. They say, are you serious? Is that with tax or without tax? Is that with benefits or without benefits? No, without benefits, of course. Then benefits come on top. And I got a lot of those kind of jobs which were saying, you know what, we got a better candidate. I'm saying, how can they be better? Because I read a lot in my industry. So I said, how can they be better? Sometimes I write back and I say, please, could we have a talk? I just want to improve myself. How could they be better? I think I'm the best here. And people say, I will get back to you, no? But we are happy to keep your CV. So it started raining to me and I said, okay. When I started, I think also being on the other side of, you know, the jobs to try to employ people when we were in an interview. Then I noticed that, you know, sometimes when somebody says so much money, you just tell them, you know, that was good. We got a better client. And most people don't ask why. And then also I noticed at that stage, you know, that when you were interviewing people like Danish, Africans and stuff like that, so they ask people, you know, how much do you want? And usually jobs you have a rate of what you are going to pay for a certain role. So they say, okay, this role is between 50 and maybe 70, depending on how good somebody is. So then you come here and then you get candidates. Typical Nordic people will come in and they say, I want 80, I want whatever, 90 or something like that, and then I want a holiday, I want this. And then typical immigrant person will come in and say, I want 45. We're starting at 50 or something like this. I say, okay, you want that? And sometimes these guys are really good and have experiences. So normally if it was me as the manager and there was an HR and stuff like that, then I'll say, okay, yeah, I'm interested in this one, this one, this one, this one. And the African, of course, would just say, I want this one and this and this and this, you know. Then somehow I'll just say, okay, you said 35. Even if I give you 45, then the minimum was, you know, 50. I think it's good. So you give somebody, you know, a better starting rate, and they come with a lot of gas and they work. So what I'm saying this is that we don't have so many people who get a chance to be on the other side. So when you are going with a job interview, you need somebody who can tell you, you know, how do you find out the money which you should negotiate? Because sometimes you're so desperate for a job, and then you go in there and then you just want anything. You just say, you know, how much are you offering? You know, how much do you want? How much are you offering? I don't know. How much do you want? And usually because your mindset has not changed that level, you have not stretched it, you'll almost say the money which you are making at that level. Sorry about that. And then also, like when you are looking for jobs, usually your mindset will look for jobs which are within your title. So if you are like maybe a software engineer, or if you are like a mechanic or whatever, most people when they go on LinkedIn, this has been researched on, they look for the same title. The trick is to go for a bigger title than what you are. So if you're like a junior, let me say whatever, nurse or stuff like that, you just go for like a managerial thing and just to stretch. And then when people apply, they apply maybe once a month, once in 6 months, some even once a year. You know how often I apply? Sometimes I apply 5 times a day. It's like a hobby. And why I did that was because I found out, you know, there's something called forcing functions. And forcing functions is something which forces you to learn maybe 10 times the way you learn normally. So if you want to learn a subject, any course, so go you and look for a job, any job. And you say, okay, now I want to be what? A pilot, for example. Then you go and read the requirements of that job. And you make a good interview, and they invite you, then you're coming tomorrow. To prepare for that job interview, usually if you are learning maybe, I don't know how much you can qualify this, but you can learn 10 times before the job interview, and to the job interview. So it became a forcing function for me to learn new things, especially in software. So I apply for jobs where like, I know I don't know about this, then I apply for everything. which looks interesting, especially if they say, no, we have great compensation. Yes. And I've gone to such some such jobs where I didn't think I was qualifying, but because I've gotten better at CVs and that kind of stuff. So I got those interviews, and then people ask you, and you find out that those people are looking for somebody who they don't know what to do. So they're looking for somebody who doesn't exist, and the only person who would exist by that time. So they just find out, that you can talk, you can present, you can just be confident, then sometimes they give you the job. So those are some of the hacks which I want to share, that I want us to create a network when we are done here on that website, which we are still developing. I want us to create a network. So if you are going for a job, I might not answer you. I always have friends who are sending me CVs when they are going next day. And what makes me happy is when somebody gets a job, an offer, and you will ask them, when's the next time you're applying? And they're like, no, this is good, this is good. But the best time to apply is the first time you get your pay slip.
Okay.
Then you have to look for the next best thing. Because it takes between like 6 months to like 18 months to get a job. So that means if you wait for 1 year and you say, I want to change every year or every 2 years, and you wait for 2 years, it will be 3 years or 4 years. And once you change, minimum you get an increment of 5%. But if they really need you, you should ask them for 20%. Then you negotiate and get 15%. So you are on the journey to doubling your income. Then you say, okay, they have talked about stocks. Make sure I get into those stocks. Make sure I get into those stocks. There was a time when there was good money here. I think the interest rate in Denmark was minus. So I looked, and then I said, I wanted to invest in stocks in Uganda. I think they were paying 18% if you invested for, is it 25 years or 20 years? And then I was looking, the Japanese were investing in Denmark and it was -1. I said, this is crazy. Why are they losing money here instead of putting it in Uganda? And that really baffled me. But when you when you factor in time and you put that money in Uganda and you get the 15% or 20% and also put it in Denmark, you start seeing a difference. So that's why, again, when Mr. Arthur is going back, I want us to negotiate. I want a good deal for our group here. We will come as a group, and all of us will want to get loans, but we want to get a great interest rate, not the other interest rate, which if we came alone, we will not get that one. So, Mr. Arthur, you tell them, we are around 50 people here, and I think there was 91 people online the first session. I don't know if they're there right now, but there was 91 who were online watching us. I think we want to create groups. I'm not making actually ideas. I want us to develop ideas after people present here. But one of the ideas I was thinking about, is it would be an investment group. It would be a project we go in. You could just say, I want to be in IT. And we say, okay, we are doing this IT project because those ones I know more about. And then, but if we come to Stanbic Bank, I want Stanbic Bank to give us a great interest rate. We are going to negotiate the best one, and you just tell us how much you want. Because what I think we are going to do with Stanbic Bank is like if Stanbic Bank gives us the starting capital, we can grow that money very fast. And when that happens is that we can then use that capital. When you have capital here, you can use that money to borrow money here at even a less interest rate. Even if Stanbic says, they're going to give us for 20% interest rate, then we can use that money to start. And then within 3 years, we can get a loan here at 9% or 6%. And then we pop Stanbic Bank because we would never have gotten money here initially. So what we need to do is to leverage our presence in 2 countries. There's good money in Uganda, as the ambassador told you, very good money. It's quick to start, especially when you have a stable income. And I think when you have undergarment. So I look forward to November when the ambassador brings the immigration officials here, because I'm a lazy guy who has not gotten my whatever. My ID, because it used to take many days in Uganda. I don't know how long it takes now, Your Excellency. Very short time. I had 5 days holidays, and it was taking 4 days out of my holiday. I gave up. If it's just being 1 day, yes, that would be good. And I hope the bank would also help us to argue for that point, because most services we need in the government. Isn't that true? Yeah. Yes. So I'm appealing to the ambassador and everybody, especially Ambassador Simon, because I know how much I like money. And then, And Mr. Simon, I think if the banks are just try to push from the other end, that we need to do more for the diaspora people to speed this process up, that would be really good for us. So that was salary tactics. I think I talked about that. Collective growth. If we want to really make money, we have to be together. Others won't be. These statistics are something which I try to hack through the systems, because you'll not find the right statistics of Africans, especially Ugandans within the Nordic countries. If you search, you'll find that in Sweden, you might only find statistics of women, Ugandan women who came between, I think, 1987 or something like that. And that would be like 6,000. And they'll say those are the only Ugandans who are within Sweden. And that is wrong. But if you factor in and try to see how many offsprings of the women who are coming and are of Ugandan origin, then you say, okay, on average, we get 3 babies. It's dropping. It's dropping, and I think that's a bad sign, because we need, I think, to grow the young people over here, because the youth have been growing between the ages of 8 and stuff like that, are really growing. So Sweden really beats everybody else. It's around 10,000 when you try to aggregate from these different angles, but it also includes a lot of Indians who came here earliest, and I've never met any of them. But the interesting part is that it also includes some Eritreans who are Ugandans, and some of them just knew about this late, but they really wanted to be here more than even Ugandans. Denmark, we are about 6,000. This includes everybody whom I could try to track with the algorithm. And in Norway, she has grown up to around 2,000, and Finland also is growing. And I think Estonia had is 15 people. But this one is the one which I was showing before when we were talking about numbers. That if you want to be now this map, so the bottom 20, the middle 20, and the top 20. So this is like Norway, Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Somehow, how many numbers of people who are like under 400,000? You see, most people apart from Norway, the lower bottom is 20%. So I think what you need to do is it's nice to see how much you're earning. So the money you're earning each year will tell you where you are. So if you're earning around 400,000, so you're at the bottom. If you are running around 800, 600, that range, you're in the middle. And if you're above that one, you're in the top 20%. But it's not good to settle for being the top 20%. I really want us to push to be in the top 5%. There are very few immigrants who are in the top 5%. It's really crazy. Very few immigrants make 1 million a year in here. And we can actually do this. So within this group, and that's why I like that it's a small group, because I think we can keep accountable with each other. Those who will share emails, I think we'll create a group, and we have a monthly follow-up for those who would want to just track some of the changes. Those who would want to track, like the development, we can set goals and we say, these are the goals I want to reach. And then I think I'll be sharing tips of how we can do these ones and track these ones. So if you say this is the money, I just want to make this much, usually it's okay. You can also just give a value, and we just work on that one. If you don't want to say you are making, 800, you can say you're making 400. It's the same tactics we'll be using. Then we just know, did you double it? That's what I want to do. But if we are working on that one, because everybody's in the situation is different, if we say, no, you're going to change jobs, then I just want to say, okay, how many applications have you made? How good is your CV? If you send a CV 10 times and you don't get a reply, that's a bad CV. You just don't use that CV again. It's a good sign. But I've seen people who are using the same CV which doesn't get hits 50 times. I said, I'm tired of applying. And you say, give me the CV. And as soon as somebody shows you the CV, you see this is wrong. There's a photo of somebody who is not smiling. The first thing you see on the CV, and I will just put it down. And then at the bottom, somebody gives you certifications. And so on. So I did this. But the photo here and the satisfactions, it just doesn't work. You say, how many people have you got? And they say, yes, I get like, thank you for applying. We chose another person. Thank you for applying. Some people don't do that one. So those are some of the tips I think which I wanted to share here, especially for people who are there. But it's really being strategic about what we are doing. Career advancement, connection building, collective success. We're already doing that, the people who made time to come over here. And what you'll realize, if you start going into these circles, you'll be less. You'll be less. And if you start applying, the taxes will be saying, you're going to lose some friends. Some friends are not ready to put in the work. Some friends will actually hate you because you'll not be able to go maybe to sports as you used to go. You'll not be able to go to drink out as you used to drink out. So there is some pain, but I think it starts becoming good pain when you start seeing the results. Then what about that one? Stepping out here. The comfort zone, I think I covered that a bit. It's like when we are stagnated within this idea that, I don't have a business. I'm a diaspora, these people are racist. Because when you go to some of these job interviews, I was once invited to a job interview I thought I was going to talk to 2 managers. Then when I reached there, then the guy told me, the first guy I met, he said, no, Peter, I want to apologize. I had these interviews of ambushing people. So you're first going to meet us, then you'll meet also the other group, then you meet the other group. So at the end of the day, I was meeting about 15 people. So they would come in and they start interviewing you. And say, okay, I thought that was done. No, we also have the other department who are also part of this one. And we wanted to be managing across the line. So I was like, after 5 interviews, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then one of the guys, was asking a department which I didn't know about, like in software, there's some stuff, which is like based on Linux and some based on Mac and some based on Windows. So you tell somebody, no, I know much about this one, then he asks you about the other one. He says, why don't you learn about the other one? I say, no, but I know about this one. And if I can learn this one, I can also learn the other one. So the guy looked so much like I said, like, this guy just hates me. I think he's a racist. And those questions can really come out because some people are very aggressive in job interviews. So, but then when you have these tactics in you say, no, this is not beating me down. So you go down, you get angry, on your way home. But after that, I apply for, if like, it was like maybe the job maybe was for senior director or something like that. Then I'll say, maybe I go for a job, a bigger role, or I apply 10 times. So you have to have tactics which counter the things which bring you down. So the thing of being in a comfort zone is like, it's easier to just go back and you say, they have denied me, and that's me, let me do my own job, because it's not painful and doesn't stretch you. Everything which stretches you, even just taking down the stairs, is really growth. And the trick is finding out that, to start enjoying that pain. That pain of, like feeling like, oh my God, today I was reading maybe 1 book a month. Now I can read a book a week. That's like stretching yourself, but you start seeing the results. And that's going out of the comfort zone, because that's when you start stretching and you know that, okay, now I'm going to make money. And if I'm going to make money, it's going to take me some stretch. I'm going to do some exercises, and we are going to do this one. And you see, I've mentioned that most of my friends, we talk about all these things, and we try them out. And it's always not easy. Sometimes, people just say, no. I applied once, but yeah, I'll apply. And the other times people tell you, yes, I got that job, but they forgot even to tell you back. They say, you got that one, so how many times have you applied now again? You say, but I've just been there 3 months. You said, yes, was it the best money you get? You said, it's good money, Peter. I want to work for like another 6 months, then I think I'll apply. But once the muscle gets out of that practice of applying, then you are comfortable. And the worst thing is when you feel you're comfortable. That's usually, I start feeling terrible. When I'm before I was in doing consultants with MasterCard, I think I'd been at the job for another 6 months. And in that job, it was starting to feel a bit comfortable, and I hated it because it was so comfortable even the first 3 months. People were so friendly and everything, and I thought something was very wrong. Because we had a lot of people who had been there. The guy whom I had replaced had been there for 50 years. And when I replaced him, I just found out, a week after that, he got a medal from the Queen of Denmark. So when you work in a company for 50 years, you get a medal from the Queen of Denmark. And it's a very prestigious Danish company, but I felt very uncomfortable because we were so comfortable. Like, yes, we are here. If you're here for 2 years, you're like a newcomer. So something is wrong with these people. But they were happy. And the lifestyle, going cinemas, clubs, everything was really good. The food was great. But that was the problem for me. because it was like also the growth in the salary rate they had good pay, but they were not growing that fast. So I thought this is a problem. And after I think 8 months, then I told them, I got another job and stuff like that. Then they looked at me like crazy. It just didn't make sense. I said, why are you doing that? But the change from what I was doing and the pay which I was getting was just was quite big. So that's what I'm telling you, that comfort is, I think, one of the problems. And the people who don't want to come here, maybe they used to sleep in the morning. They just want to go out. You will see many people in the evening who will be coming up, and I think I'll try to tell them also about that one. That partying, because I've done it all. So partying, and then you end up sleeping, up to noon the next day. You have not read a book. You know that Peter has been reading another book. He has been programming another computer thing. He has been working, and that's what happens. Then the next thing I challenge people about is sleep, because one of the hacks which you really have to do is really sleeping. If you don't sleep more than 6 hours, then you start performing less and earning less. So actually, even when you're sleeping, you make money. So make sure you sleep more than 6 hours. Once you start sleeping less than 6 hours, you're starting to lose money. And we have these jobs, people go and say, no, I'm going to make one job, second job, third job, and then I sleep less. Actually, you're making less money without knowing. In the long run, you'll be performing less, and then you'll not be promoted, and you'll be unhappy, you'll be even stressed, then you'll get sick. So sleep is a big thing. So one of the hacks about sleep is that, the times you sleep, you really have to experiment all about that. Because usually when people want to do a second job, they want to do it in the free time after the normal job. So they do it in the evening. And if you start noticing in the evening, that's when your brain is most times, really tired. And for me, what I do is like, I say, okay, the normal job, if I'm doing your consultancy, it may work for you from 9 to 5 or from 9 to 10 or whatever. But I like the morning hours. The morning hours maybe from 4 to 5 or to 6 or to 7. Those are actually the best hours when you have just woken up. Because you do a lot, so I work maybe 5 hours from my projects and then I go to work. You see the trick?
Yeah.
With somebody who goes, who sleeps up to like 6 and starts working at 8, the best hours, it gives them the job. Then after 5, you come and start doing your hustle. It doesn't add up like that. It's same like reading books. It's the same thing if you want to start reading and reading more. Because that's one of the hacks you really have to do to make money. More hacks, I think, as we start sharing, but I think my time is over. You didn't want me. I overtalk. So I think we are going to the next phase where we're going to get other panelists to share ideas. And I think from those ideas, when we get the panelists are going to come here and we are going to get ones online. And then they're going to tell us about the projects which are interesting, the challenges, and how we have to work out with these ones. And what we'll do after that, I think we'll vote some of the projects which we might agree that maybe a group of 4, a group of 5, we will just discuss how we want to choose. Either we choose one product and we say, let's try to use this as an example, where like I try to do coaching. I'm not the best coach, I'm not like a banker, not an economic advisor, I'm just a diaspora Ugandan. And I just want this to work for Ugandans. Because if I do this, the ambassador promised me some land. And this is the second ambassador I think who promised me. The ambassador is promising, ambassador, you promised me cows, not land. But the ambassador supposed to promise me land because we come from the same area. So that's what I want us to achieve. And we say, results, so that if we are to come here next year, if we manage to promise Standard Bank to be with us next year, and one of the reasons we have to do that, everybody here, you just have to download Juba Express and FlexPay. Because if you do something for Mr. Arthur, I saw, actually, I think you noticed, because the other time I was telling you, you hear what the guy says. And now you just had so many questions for him. He had just started. He has other projects which he can talk about, I think, when we invite him. But if you are to do that, you have to tickle him. Tickle him, download those apps so that people know that you really like what he said. And I'm going to try to see that all of us are doing this. And not only just downloading, then we start using them. And then we'll see what happens. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you so much, Uncle P. I would like to invite the panelists who are here so that we can minimize on the time that we may take discussing. So there's Catherine is here. Also, there's a gentleman, I'm sorry, I could not recall your name. And I will also join you here. So since we are here as 3 people, I think one can sit in the middle, another one can sit over there.
Oh, we sit together.
Oh, we can sit together here. Okay.
It's easier.
Okay, I'll take the first seat. Okay, I think I will start.
Do you want?
Okay, we are going to share about our experiences in our community in the diaspora, the challenges that we've come across, and we will also give a few notes on the things that can be improved and how best we can interact with others that are not here. And our story, we cannot tell each and everyone's story, but I know that from the things that we share, there could be somebody having the same idea. And I'm a leader in our community. I came to Denmark 8 years ago. I came as a student, a student on a leadership scholarship, which was supposed to last just 6 months. And after living in the UK and struggling to be a resident there, by the grace of God, I'm going to talk about God, Mama, preacher as well. So I have got an opportunity to stay in Denmark under the EU rules before Brexit. Yes, so after 5 years, I became a permanent resident. But to understand about the challenges that I've encountered in my field of leadership, maybe just a little background story, and I'll be very brief. I come from a low middle class in Uganda, and I'm grateful because it shaped the person that I am. I came to Denmark and I encountered a divided community. There were so many people, each one doing a different kind of thing. And I tried so much to fit in because where I came from, it was different. People in the UK, they are a little bit more organized and it's a bigger community. So there was a challenge and lack of sharing knowledge and information. And like I said, coming from the lower middle class, it means I didn't grow up with a lot of privileges. You could say I'm a village girl from Bujuko. But that means that I have a father who did not have an education, and my mom stopped in what you'd call 9th grade. But because I was a child who wanted to, if you tell me that we're going this way, the bus is coming, and if the bus is not coming, I'll tell you I'll walk. If you say we're going to peel matoke and the knives cannot be found, I'll bite it. So I'm that kind of a person. So when I came to the community and I was like, what if we could have a fellowship? What if we could have this? And I had children, I have children, 3 young children, the last one is approaching 6, who struggled with a sense of belonging. So I saw that our children are scattered everywhere. I started to feel small. I was very confident, but I was getting smaller and smaller every day because I would not fit in the white community. And then I saw that the Black people are also scattered everywhere. People were not sharing information. Actually, sharing more about you would endanger your stay because on how we get our residences here. Sometimes people keep their information private for security purposes. So we didn't have a lot of success stories, yet in the community we have people who have made it. So I pushed myself to school. I opened up an organization. I started to knock on each and everyone's door. And I will tell you that has been the most depressing season of my life because I encountered rejection. I'm bubbly, as you can see. So I am the fourth born, but whenever I would have guests at home, they would say, call Mole, she's going to dance to for the guests, and I would put my hands up here. So I was always welcome wherever I go, and I received rejection because people would not just get it. I would wonder, how could we be a big community and we don't have union? Anyways, like Mr. Antende said, the moment I got a job, I started to start saving. I said, I'll never get any benefit. I'm going to save my money. I need to buy a house here. I need to buy a car here. I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to lead a fellowship in this community. And when I was doing all this, I had a lot of talk. Hey, yeah, Panka, let's see how far she's going to go. And being a short woman, of course, I said, well, my legs may not be tall enough to run, but surely my head always goes ahead of me. And I persisted, and there were a lot of challenges. And it's not because we do not have information, but I realized we don't read. And we don't wish each other well. Many people here have great ideas, great businesses. People sell art and craft. People have PhDs, but we don't even know them because we don't have that. So to me, that was a challenge, and I wished that I had met people like I have met them today. So when I heard about this convention, what came into my head was like, I want to go and see other people who think like me. Was my pushing a success? Yes. Did I encounter a lot of challenges? Many of them. Some broke me, but others made me, because some wisdom is experiential. Anyways, time came and I said, I have to buy a house. Like he said, I also went to rent, and they gave me an amount that I needed to pay for a deposit to rent an apartment. I was like, this is a lot of money. Why would I pay all this? So I asked them, what's the criteria for somebody to purchase a house? They say, oh, you have to be a permanent resident of Denmark. You have to do this, you have to do that. I was not at that time. I went back and sat on the internet and I read that actually, if you've worked in the system for 3 years, and you've never taken out any kind of government aid, you are fit, if you fit certain criteria with the bank, to apply for a mortgage. And I went ahead and I applied for it. I was rejected by like 7 banks. Did I stop? No. One time, I just woke up at midnight, I said, I'm going to try this bank. And there were banks which said yes with a higher interest. I said, it's better than paying on somebody else's house every month, knowing that it's not going to bring returns in the future. So I applied and one bank said yes. And after, when I was still in the process of getting a bank guarantee, another one also said yes. So I had 2 options to think of. Usually it's 4% for the people who fit all criteria, but I think I bought mine with a 7% interest, which was okay, because given where I live, and how much now my house value is, I paid the least. And by that time I was married. And when I went to my ex-husband, I told him, we should buy a house instead of paying all this money. They said, are you mad? It's going to be a lot of money. I am self-employed, like we have a lot of paperwork to show. I said, well, I'm going to do it by myself. And he laughed because he could not think that I would do it. But actually, I went ahead, like he said, get out of the comfort zone. The information is out there. So when they rejected me, I went back and I told them, I want feedback. Why did you deny my application? So they told me the things to work on in my application. I did not go back to the same bank. I used that information and I went somewhere else, presented myself as if I'm a new person. And I got accepted. And like he said, like right now, the value is really high. And I can proudly say that if I decide to sell and resell, sometimes we talk about it and I'm like, you know what, I will resell so that I don't have to do a lot of renovations later, because to me, it's an investment. And I urge people that I lead to do that. Another thing which happened around, I had like 7 families in my fellowship. And these were people who were doing the same jobs. Monday to Friday to Sunday, and families like our kids are in daycare. We had nothing to look up to. And when people come into our community, they are looking for jobs. They don't look for information. Let's go to Pastor Maureen's fellowship. There are people there who can help us with jobs, help us with paperwork. We can do all that, but there is more. And as I speak right now, I think we do not have anybody who has not acquired more education. Actually, we have more people who earn very good money. We have people who have ventured into business and they are helping others also to earn. So if you have a dream and if you have some information, share it with others. We have another issue, Madam Ambassador. It's how we gather up when there is anything that comes up. Today the turn-up might be lower, but next time you will see more. They always come the second time. Yeah, we entice them by showing up, and that's what we keep saying, that do not say that how many people are going to be there. Once you show up and people hear what you have to say, the next time every other person is going to bring in another person. So that was a challenge in the beginning. It looked like nobody's going to show up, nobody's going to listen to me. But we kept on showing up and people started to come. Then we started the Uganda Cultural Center. It was for our children to find a sense of belonging. They don't know where they belong. They are not white, they are not black. They are Danish or Swedish, they are Ugandans and from all these different cultures. We tend to see a number of our children actually take a longer time to talk. Many go through speech therapy because of the bilingual, I don't know if there's what they call trilingual. The mother is from Acholi, I am from Uganda, and we speak English at home, and at school they're teaching them Danish, and they tend to put our kids in a bracket, and maybe they're autistic, maybe they have these problems. Yes, they assess them according to the symptoms, forgetting the troubles that we have. So we discovered that if we come together, actually we're having the same problem. So we kept on asking ourselves, what did the commune say? Or the commune said, oh no, you answer like this. Oh, I will come with you. And many families were helped. So they keep coming together. We hear our experiences. We hear our burdens. It also helps with mental health. So people do not know how to associate when it comes on a social contact level, and also when it comes to finances. We are doing the same rat chase. I got tired of it. They talked about depression here. I think most of us have been candidates of that. There was a phase when I felt also the burnout. There was a time I worked 2 jobs. And one day I looked at my mileage in the car. The company said, hey, you will have to pay more money because you've driven a lot of mileage this month. Then as I sat there in my spirit and I said, if the car's mileage is beyond, what is the mileage on my brain? Then I looked at the mileage in my bank account. I said, this is not helping. If we've made up our minds to stay here, let's try to live like we are here. Let's try to adjust to having a proper mental health and keep putting an input into our health. So I stopped. I said, I'm not taking a second job. I will have one job, create time for me, create time for family, and create time for a social network. It has been very helpful. Actually, it helped with my finances. I was able to think outside the box. What should I do with my extra money salary so that that extra money can become also a passive income? And when you look at the numbers, it adds up to the money that you would earn from a second job without running around. So thank you so much for this financial literacy gathering. And I know I'm going to learn a lot from the others. Somebody has a question?
There is one question online, but I think it's
student, effectively manage financial problems, probably in Denmark, in Denmark, Norman,
Assuming it's in Nordics.
on top of investment.
I think people should not go ahead of things, ahead of time. If you're a student and you're trying to invest and also manage finance, there should be that hold up time. Because all of us, when we were studying, our finances were not at the level when we were working full time. So do not overload your mind. Yes, because you have to attend class, I think 28 hours a week in Denmark, and you're only allowed to work 25. So when you look at the circle of the day, if the day has got 24 hours and you need to rest 8 hours, do not put pressure on yourself. That's what I would advise them. Give discipline to whatever you're doing and give it 100%. In due time, you will have the right equipment to actually gain momentum to push forward. But you can break if you try to do all three at the same time.
Maybe Norman is listening. Yes, Norman, he talked also about investment, and I don't know if investment you meant like investing in a bank. But I think as a student, what I'll do is like, I would invest in myself, because most of the problem is that we invest in the wrong investments. As a student, I think one of the best investments is investing in yourself. There is a book I would recommend for you. It's called, I think, Budgeting Queen. It's written by a Nigerian American. I don't know if anybody has read it. But in that book, why I'm recommending it to you, it talks about that sometimes we try to save when it's not the time for saving. There's a certain level of income where you should be able to save. There's a certain level of income when you should be able to invest. And there's a certain level of income where you should not be doing this. And then one of the traps which you do is like you be a student and you're earning student income. And then you are paying all the bills. Then you are told back home you need to buy land, you need to start building. Then at the same time you have to enjoy life. And then somebody also tells you have to invest in something else, maybe in a border. So you overstretch. And sometimes it's not the right thing. And one of the things usually when you overstretch is you don't invest in yourself. And when you're doing one of the right things, now you're investing in yourself. People who approach, there are a lot of young people, unfortunately not from Uganda, who approach me for advice, especially from West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. Their parents tell them to come and talk to me. And I always feel like a bit guilty. Actually, even the organizations invite me sometimes to talk to them. They just want to pick your brain. Just find somebody who is doing something interesting and pick their brain. And most of those people who are good to pick their brains, they will not answer the first time or the second time. I think I will answer, but I might not answer the second time, but maybe on the 10th time, we'll get some time.
And lastly, as a person who leads families in fellowship, this goes to all religious leaders. There are people who have actually churches. Ours is just a fellowship. People entrust us with, we are the first steward of families. What we instill in them helps them excel or even go down. So when they come first to these countries, let's say Diaspora, they are looking for how to blend in, and they are looking for jobs, they are looking for paperwork. I think we should also advise them on the roadmap on how to stay with the proper mental health, how to improve their finances, how to go to our different offices, because ministry is not just preaching. The Bible teaches us the standards on how to multiply and subdue. So it's not about receiving the blessing through prayer, but also the actions that we put on our faith to see that the blessing that's received is actually cultivated elsewhere. So if you're a leader out there, I'm representing you and I'm telling you, let's help families also recognize where they're going to find the lighter way of operating in their faith.
Thank you very much. Okay. I believe that just as your story is everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. And you might be sitting there and thinking, yeah, my story is different. But I would encourage everyone actually to reflect on your own story and understand your journey, because you were not here by accident, and you're not, I mean, you're not in Sweden or Denmark or wherever you are by accident. There is a purpose why you're there. So you shouldn't, no one should belittle you, or you shouldn't think small of yourself. I mean, the challenges are always there. Yeah. I might not tell my whole story. I mean, I came to Denmark to study. Then I pursued my master's in Aalborg in Denmark. Then, yeah, then as I was working, I met Peter, like he mentioned, in Nokia. But I met my husband in Copenhagen. He's Swedish, then we ended up in Sweden. But wherever you go, you know, you have to. So I learned both the languages, Danish and Swedish. You know, you have to learn everything. And then when you get kids, it's like you say, you know, they speak different languages. And there is always the issue of identity, even for yourself. And, you know, as you integrate in the society, you still have your Ugandan identity, you know, in you. And so it's easy to have challenges, you know, when you go back home, you're doing business home, it's a different lifestyle, it's a different thinking, you know, and because you're carrying both. But the asset we have as people in the diaspora is that we have the knowledge, we have the exposure. So you know how things are done here, pick out the good things, carry them back home, you know, try to carry someone, you know, hold someone by your hand. You can, you know, we talked about skilling, but I mean, we can help out also back home, even though we are here. I had talked about before when I presented, I just want to focus on 3 points, and that's among the entrepreneur side. I also love working with women and to see women development and growth. So I'll talk about 3 things, and this is the people, products, and the process. Those are the 3 things. I would prefer that it's more of a work than just listening to me. So if we go to the first point, which is the people, if everyone got a notebook, the first person is yourself. So to think about yourself, and maybe why are you here? You can note down for yourself, or you can think about it, you know, because we don't just do things, you know, you should have some kind of expectation. Why did I come to this conference? Why did I come to meet other people? You know, so that's the first thing. Reflect on that. Is my goal met? My expectation? Because this will be more reflection afterwards. The first person to invest in is yourself, like everyone mentioned, you know, knowledge-wise, skill-wise, you know, there's so many opportunities we have here. You know, we don't have to pay school fees. You know, you can study. There's nothing that stops us. Maybe one story I can give is that when I came to Denmark a long time ago as a student, and then I joined one of the churches, and I was looking for like-minded people. And then I met people, they were welcoming, you know, there were Ugandans and other people from Africa and a few Danish people in that church. It was an international church. And then, but I was more ambitious, you know, I was young, I wanted to pursue my studies. So I was curious, what are people doing here? And then I met people who had grown up here, they came in when they're young, and I was asking them, what are you working with? What are you working with, you know? And some of them were cleaning, and some of them were doing different odd jobs, like you say, 1-2 jobs. And I was like, but is this it? Is this what people are supposed to do? Is this what I came for? You know, but I knew that I should go beyond. So I was looking for like-minded people, but it was difficult to find them. But then later on, I understood, like, people get comfortable. You know, people accept the status quo, or people go with bandwagons, you know. So that's the only thing I can say that, so I couldn't really find until, you know, I kept on looking and said, okay, I have to pave my journey through Scandinavia. So I just continued, you know. and of course, you end up choosing which people to interact with. So people is really important. If people are not building you up, if people are not, if you pave your way, but you also have to reflect where you want to go. Are you better than what you were before or the year before? So in that way, you will get a right community. We might not blend with everyone, but you will find a right community because the opportunities are around. The second thing I want to talk about is the product. We are either the product or we are either consumers or we are producers. So we are talking about diaspora mindset here, and that's what I'm focusing on. And we have products, so you either choose, you still have to choose, am I going to be a consumer or am I going to be a producer? I'm an ambassador here in Scandinavia, so what you have to do is, what is it that is back home that you can do here? What is it that is here that you can give back home? So we are assets, we are resource for the people here, for organizations which want to work back home, or for organizations which want exposure here in Scandinavia. So we think about the product, what is needed. I met a few business people there and I'm really impressed. We talked about the challenges back home, and there are many, but I think here in the community we can work through those things together. The last thing I want to talk about is the process. Now it's a process. Life is a process, but I think process is the one that brings the profits. If you have a good process, it will be automated. You can automate it. You can do, So that process is something we have to think about, all of us, as we be it in our jobs. How are you doing your work? How can I be that I don't have to burn out? How can I be that I can improve, balance with my kids and balance with work and balance with social activities? So the process, that one we have to think about. You have to do research when you do the process, which systems are in place. Those are the ones that run. If we are doing businesses, how you can't do it alone. I was just talking to Melanie there, and how you can't do things alone. You will just come that far. But when you are in a group or if you are a collective, you have a bigger voice outside. And I believe that the embassy is there to help us. So, but when you come in a collective voice, it's much easier than when I come alone. So that's all I could say for now.
Very good points from you. For 20 years ago, I wrote about time management. And I think after being in Africa for a long time, I will rewrite that book for Africa. It will be quite easy because time management and keep times, if we are adapting the new technology, we have all the tools, we even have smart phones, etc., but we don't use it. And with time management, you can reach your goals very fast if you understand what you spend your time on. And everybody in the whole world have 24 hours. That's the God's gift to us. We have equal 24 hours. But you can buy other hours, of course, and so you can sell your hours. That's what we are doing. I'm Swedish, but I'm not the normal Swedish one. I grew up on a childhood. I live on foster homes. I escaped because in 60s in Sweden, people who doesn't have parents was not treated very well. And I think that's a common problem all over the world. But so I escaped on shipping business. So then they sent me to north of Sweden when they catch me. And they said, in Sweden, there is a law, you have to go to 9 years in the school. Okay. So the first day after my school, I start to work as a seaman. And the first ship was a asphalt tanker. And the second ship was a banana tanker. Because I don't have any roots. My father is German, my mother is Swedish. My father is Catholic, my mother was Protestant. That was one reason why they didn't want a child. And my mother was in Germany for study and get pregnant. So I destroyed her life. That was her vision, right? And so that was a big secret about it. I found my father when I was 22 by a priest in Swedish Siemens Church because he finds my story impressive. So after knocking rust, painting, clean garbage in a hole, then I decided, oh, this is not my life. So I said to myself, I want to be sea captain. It's a very good position, very good job, very global. You earn lots of money if you're driven on money. So, and to come into the navigation schools, you need to have 36 months on board the ship. You need to be 18 years, and you need to have upper grade school. That was in Sweden. So I took letter studies, and the few times I come to Sweden, I go for exams. So when I was 18, I was able to apply for the navigation school. So, and I was the youngest sea captain, and that is also an issue to be a young, well-educated leader to lead older people. We have not do this like this, so we have to do this. Blah, blah, blah. So I was in the shipping business, in the global shipping business for 20 years. I had 6 kids with 3 wives. And 2 wives, I was captain, okay? When you marry a guy in a captain's uniform, you cannot expect that he will be home to dinner every day. So that was a challenge. The other challenge in Sweden is that if you don't have a family, you're nobody. So my big dream was to create a big family. So I built lots of houses. We had summer houses, boats, etc. I left everything because I was not accepted by the community. As a seaman, we were also like the tradition. The difference between Denmark, Norway, and Sweden is that seamen have a very low rank, even though you're a captain. So I divorced. Second time I divorced, I was alone with 2 daughters. So then I decided, okay, I want to be a sea lawyer. So I started studying the law for 1 year, but then it was very difficult because I was a single father with 2 daughters. They were 2 and 4. So I went into the university, and there were 2 different kind of education lines. One was business development, an MBA in that, and the other one was system engineering. So I took both. At the same time, I drive a car ferry between, the car ferries in. So because I didn't get any grants and I didn't have any family who support me. So long story short, I never fit in the Swedish society. The Swedish is not a risk taker. Only 5-10% of the Swedish citizens is entrepreneur, and we don't take any risk. To make a failure and make a bankruptcy, it's a big catastrophe. I make many mistakes, and I learned something from it. So when and in the end, all my 6 kids was living with me because the mother was. I have a very strange view when I applied for women. So they were like my mother. So it was not a nice woman, and they were not nice, and they don't like kids either. So all of my kids finally lives with me. So we rent a big apartment in Täby with 5 bedrooms, etc. It cost me 20,000 Swedish crowns per month, but I earn money at that time. I always earn money, but I don't keep the money because if you have divorced 3-4 times,
Yeah.
they keep everything. And on top of that, you have to pay some money for the kids, but they are living with you. So I've been living and working in US. I live in France. I set up lots of networks. I live in Turkey since 2014. I'm a guy, you can drop me anywhere, and in less than 2 weeks, I have a network. So I get an invitation from the network I create through uh, Nexus Africa. And all of my friends says, you're crazy, why are you going to Africa? What can you expect of that? I can expect everything because that's the future. There's no future. 100 years ago, Sweden was the poorest country in the Europe. That's one it's only 100 years, okay? Our tradition is really poor, okay? Then in the Second and First World War, we grew up, IKEA, Ericsson, ABB, etc. We were supporting Germany, and we earned lots of money. The richest family in Sweden built their finance imperium during that time. And now Sweden will be poorer and poorer because the Swedish people are lazy. We are not entrepreneurs. If you go to Africa, everyone, because you have no social welfare. So, and if the parents invest in education, they cost them lots of efforts to keep the kids in school. Yes, there are no efforts. But we pay a lot of tax, of course, so that's paying everything. So we have the highest tax in Europe. What I want to say with this, the Swedish new generation is not entrepreneur. They want to be rich quick, like TikTok, etc. Selling nothing. They are time consuming, but they are selling water or dress clothes, eyeliners or whatever, and they want to be rich. We're talking about money. When we talk about what we are doing now, what I try to create in Africa, especially in Uganda, is to educate people to see resources around them, like garbage. When I see garbage, I see money. There is huge money. And we have the waste pickers who's collecting this. That's only 10% of the garbage. 50% of the waste in Africa is organic. Of the organic, you can do biogas, you can do fertilizer, you can do electricity, you can do a lot of things. So the purpose of Nexus Africa is to create a community where we train and educate consultants in Africa in modern waste technology and also waste management. So I agree with all your points out that, and because I don't belong to, I don't have any rules. So when I die, I said to my kids, don't bring me home to Sweden. Just bury me where I am at the moment. That's fine, because you will never visit the grave anyway. And once you're dead, after 14 days, 1 month, if you don't leave a big heritage, of course, then they would fight for a long time and remember you. but because that's the way to be rich in Sweden, heritage. So, and I will come back. When my kids move out from the apartment, so I would sit there with the 20,000 kroners apartment rent by myself, and my kids was working. They didn't pay any rent or pay any food or wash the clothes. So I was a service hotel manager for. So I said to my kids, when you move out, you take all the furnitures, everything, the line and everything. I only take 2 suitcases, one with winter clothes, which I get rid of, and one with summer clothes. So my life is now one suitcase and my computer.
Okay.
And I rent, and I'm so happy. So when I go to Ghana, Kenya, Istanbul, I rent good location, and I pay for that. I'm happy for that. I don't need to maintain things. Before, my work was really hard. None of my wives could cook food. I'm also educated chef.
Oh.
So I prepare all the food. And all my kids is working with food industry. They don't have any education. They have the very gymnasium. And that's is a very big disappointment for me. But, so now I'm retired. So I can do whatever I like. So that's why I spend all the time to build up my network.
Yeah.
And I feel very happy for that. I have very low blood pressure. My health is very good now. It was not like that when I have the families, because I struggled to finance everything. So Africa is the future, and but we have a very good social system in Sweden and in Scandinavia. So if you don't want to work, you don't need to work. You don't want to go to school, you don't need to go to school. But in Africa, all of African people are entrepreneurs, and I love this. And in Africa, I try to work with women because, excuse me, man, but the man is not trustable in the sense of getting things done. So I prefer to work with women. So thank you.
Wow.
If you have any business concerning waste and recycling, you can contact this gentleman and work with him here in Africa. Thank you so much. And we had some panelists online, but who maybe have something that could be helpful to us, and maybe a feedback from the embassy or to the embassy.
Online were Mr. Aligo.
Yes, Mr. Aligo, you can hear us, then you can speak.
On the microphone. Mr. Aligo.
Mr. Aligo.
Actually, Honorable Aligo.
Honorable.
If you can,
Honorable Francis. We can unmute him, or he can unmute.
he can.
We can unmute him, or he can unmute.
He can.
Am I visible to everyone? Am I visible to everyone? Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. First of all, I wanted to also recognize the protocol, as earlier said, and my gratitude to all the previous 4 speakers. You did excellent, and it's quite educating, and I'm so grateful to be part of that. You did excellent, and it's quite educating.
No, it's background.
And yeah, is there still echo? Okay. I'm really very happy. I felt really so great. I've been listening to each of you, all the 4 speakers, and it gave me a picture of what this convention really means for Ugandans, and especially those in the diaspora, who basically are the main ones to invest back home. And in this case, I just wanted to go back to my story. I wanted to share my story about my journey as politics is concerned. Yeah, I left you guys in a dilemma. I think when I said, when you think about me, if you want to know about me, think about Idi Amin. Many of you might have definitely go to Google, I call it Uncle Google, Google, and especially the Swedish Idi Amin. Who is he? When is that? And so on and so on. But I'm proudly happy that I could be able to open up and be a part of this convention. And before I even go deeply to this, the CEO, Mr. Tende, has spoken a lot of things that has also inspired me. And one of the things is about mindset. Since I came to this country, for those of you who did not know, I live in Denmark. I have been here for many, many years, not many years, but yeah, I think I'm coming to 20 years, 19 to 20 years now in Denmark. And the first time I came here as a student, I was enrolled in the University of Copenhagen as one of the teachers, and together with the colleagues through, Danida. Some of you know that very well. And when I came here, I was here for just 3 weeks. And in the 3 weeks before I traveled back to Uganda, I was already given an opportunity to be one of the teachers at the high school, employed and given all platforms. Two of us Ugandans, which I was so grateful for. We traveled back to Uganda. I just spent we had Christmas, because Christmas was based in Uganda than in Denmark. The love of seeing many people together. And and then we came back a month later. I started in my education as one of the students, and then as well as one of the teachers, sharing ideas, broadening, Uganda to Denmark, the teaching methods, how we teach in Uganda, and so on and so on. And I was so blessed to be one of those. And after the 6 months, I went back to Uganda, and something that was very important that made me actually to be in Denmark today is that love is crazy. I just wanted to applaud the MC who said a lot of things. I think your story is my story, a lot of things. And I got caught somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I found myself remaining here. But still, regardless of what, I traveled back to Uganda, and we came back. I was employed still in the the Danish organization in Uganda. By then, it was called MS Uganda. Right now, it's called Action Aid. I was very blessed, and I started to travel in between. Love got serious, and I found myself, stranded in the cold Danish, country, which I really love. But why did I actually end up in politics? Coming to a country like Denmark, you always have to think of the language comes as one of the first chapter. And if you have vision, you have given yourself a plan in a long run, what you wanted to achieve, then the success will follow. That's what I did. I joined the language school. Before I finished the language school, I did ask myself questions. Yes, I'm going to start, I'm going to start on an education, but what about in my free time? What do I do? I thought of 3 genial ideas. I hope you guys are listening. Hearing me clearly. I thought of 3 genial ideas. Thank you so much, MC. And then I thought I am going to start a Ugandan organization. Then I count my fingers. How many Ugandans are in my city? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I could not go further. Then I thought of what about East Africa? 1, 2, 3, 15, 18, 19. Then that was everything. Everything stopped there. And then I thought of what about Africa? Then I could count. I could really not count my fingers. It was countless. Then I started an African organization that is called Nestville Africa. I immediately wrote to the municipality, the commune, that I have an idea that I would like to start an African organization. And within 24 hours, I already received a response. This is what we have been waiting for. And it was approved. And not only approved, there was a basket of money that was following that approval. And I was like, yes, we are now talking. I started mobilizing, got many people in. Let's go for this. Let's be more engaged instead of being more individual. Let's join together. A big number of people and many Africans came together. The Ogas came in, the Nyabos came in, and the whatever, mention it. So I was so blessed, and we were very many Africans. We started this African Association. I became the chairperson, and we formed a very good quorum. Everything became very strong, and ever since that day, when the voices of the organization speak, people listen to us. And immediately, 2 days after the formation of the organization, the mayor of this municipality contacted me and say, I'm appointing you as the representative of the Africans in this municipality. What do you say? And I was like, with a great respect, I will be so grateful, and speaking on behalf of my people, I will honor that. Yes, I was the integration representative and the spokesperson of the Africans. And never did I know that there were other things coming and following. And that is what I called, do not let people to come and find you, but show yourself, be an exemplary, go out and show that you're capable of that, of being that person that they're looking for. And immediately, many parties started to go and ask me, oh, could you be part of us? Then I was like, politics, forget about it. I hate politics. It is not part of my life. For a couple of years, until when Nelson Mandela died, Nelson Mandela was the awakening call for me. Because what I did was to write a very long email to the municipality and to the mayor, saying, mentioning the values of democracy that Nelson Mandela has done, not only for Africa, but for the entire world. Some people may call him a dictator, but many knows democracy can be described in a different way, depending on the part of the world you are in and how things have been put together. So that way, when I was when I arranged this arrangement for the for Nelson Mandela, the ceremony, immediately the mayor came to me and whispered, I think it is the time, come out, you should be one of the politicians. And then what I realized that was very important was to see politics is not about killing, fighting, and so on and so on. Politics is about responsibilities. At the moment I said yes, immediately, that was the journey of my life into politics. 2 years later, we have the municipal elections. I was one of the candidates for the Social Democrats for the first time. Out of 170 something candidates who are contesting only for 31 places, I emerged as one of those who were elected officially. And I was so grateful. And I just wanted to also at this moment send my gratitude to all the members of the embassy, because when I was elected, the first message I got was from the embassy. Congratulations, we are proud of you. And the next thing was Ugandans coming together inviting me on behalf of what is called DOCA to come and be part of the celebrations. And I was very honored. This is why Ugandans are very powerful. When we come together, more than one person, we can really be heard. I was very blessed to be honored and be part of that. And ever since that, the first time I was elected was, as I was explaining, was 2017. And I also contest for the second time, 2021. I went successful. I as well got a message from the embassy, which I'm so proud of. And hey, here I am also contesting for the third time, which is going to be happening on the 18th of November. I hope I will go through your blessings, through your supports. But when you ask me what politics is all about responsibility. Be responsible for the people and respect anyone, every person, regardless of how the person looks, regardless of where the persons come from, regardless of religious belief, regardless of whatever we can come in a thought. And that way we can all be a very, very strong community and very strong country that will make every voice be heard. And also one of the important things that I have learned throughout this my political life is that knowing that I am sitting there behind the stage, knowing what is happening behind, which nobody knows, has taught me a lesson that we have all we have been like hiding. So my biggest advice for today and on behalf of this convention is that Ugandans come out, show yourself, organize yourself. Home for me is where I live. I go to bed, I sleep. But knowing that I have my origin, where I come from, that is Uganda. But knowing where you sleep, you go to sleep, where you represent the kind of the people that you're in, and sow yourself out. That is a very, very important key element of a lifetime. So I will definitely be ending up here. I just wanted to respect everyone who has said and shared the stories. I have a longer one, but at this time, that is my life story. Thank you so much. Anyone with a question, you're welcome. Share it in the comment, session or through the MCs. I will be ready here to answer any questions. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
We thank you so much, Honorable Francis. It's such to know. I had no idea. Thank God I came. I had no idea we have a honorable amongst ourselves. Okay, you are honorable. We honor you. I think at this time we will utilize this period to ask for your feedback. There is one.
Yes, Mr. Agri, Dr. Agri.
Yes. Okay, we will be having Dr. Agri.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I hope you're listening to me very well. I would like to congratulate everyone who has given us his or her story. We have been following, and as of now, to me, I have got inspired very much. Thank you, Mr. Francis, Honorable. And I'm glad to everyone who has really participated in this. So as we had said, as I had introduced myself before, I'm a great Gumisirize, and I like to make my story very short. I'm born in Uganda, as I said, and I'm working in a Danish farm in Denmark. I'm 29 years old, and so coming to Denmark was like through network. It's like today our chairman has been talking about me, how this happened. It was network that led me to Denmark. So it started from a point whereby no one could believe that it can happen, because I was born and raised in the village of Rukunjiri, Gwerere, where I don't have any network, any connection like people in Kampala. And so I didn't have hopes of being in Denmark today. But because I like community work and community things and meeting new friends and people, this is where I met a person who led me. Like after my Form 6, I had those poor results whereby you can't even go to a university, Makerere. So I was down deep, like I have nothing next. But through network, someone encouraged me to go to an agricultural college called Gwentanga Agriculture College. And this is where my story changed. So from that Form 6, I went to school for 3 years doing a diploma in animal production and management. But before this diploma ended, I got friends who used to come at school in form of NGOs, and these NGOs were actually from Europe, like the SNV and other NGOs in Uganda in sector of agriculture. So I was always the most participant. Like we have this community group and we're participating to each other. So this is where I learned to connect to people that we are taking people to Israel as agriculture students. And so I was chosen among many students who were interested to go to Israel for internship. I was number one on the list. And so I got the chance to be in Israel for 1 year for internship. And being in Israel in an agricultural farm, this is where the connection to Europe came from. And today, when I came from Israel 1 year after this internship, I was rewarded everything good and a good diploma after my course I did in Israel. And so I came from the prayer in 27th of September, and 29th September I was at VFS applying for the visa to Denmark. But this happened just because of network, not the people I'm born with, not the people I'm friends with together from the same village, but just network internationally. The global network made me to know that after Israel, I can be in Denmark, still through the same sector of agriculture. However, in Israel, I had gone with before finishing my education, but with God's grace, when I came back from Israel, I had to hold on my visa application and finish up with my education in Uganda. So by the time I was doing my last papers in Uganda, also my ticket for the plane was booked to go to Denmark. And this became a turn-off point of upgrade who came from Israel with some good money, and he was from a very, very bad background. And today, when the chance happened to be in Europe, I got in Europe for the first year. We are very down deep in farms. We don't know how we can find people like Mr. Ntende, people like the embassy. We didn't have that network really. We are down deep in Aalborg, north of Denmark. But because of such events and organizations, I also made myself to be part of the community in Aalborg. And that's where I met Madam Justin Namara with her embassy staff. This is the network that is making me to have a platform today, because I was deep down in the farm. I know no one in Denmark, but the turning point came like when I went for a such community event. I met a friend who made me know more people have been in Denmark for some good time. And then behind me, I had a big group of people in Uganda that I had to inspire and guide and give knowledge how to be in Denmark as an agriculture student. So all these people, I had to give them all the knowledge, like all the lines I had used to leave Uganda to Denmark for agriculture. And I inspired them and I made sure they can fly like me. I did it in the first time. So I like to inform the public that all these people that asked for guidance are here with me today in Denmark. And as far as we agriculture students are concerned, we are now over 500 people working in agriculture farms in Denmark and over 50 workers, direct workers who come with working contracts from Uganda as butchers or slaughterhouse workers. There are over 50 working for Danpok in Denmark. But all these all these programs happened just because we had network among each other. And today, when these guys got here and I'm the one who helped in their line of coming to Denmark and we are still friends to each other, we developed something like a group between each other to share money among ourselves. So we have a team whereby each month we share 20,000 Danish krona to an individual so that he can develop himself faster. So this is a team in the community and we encourage more young youths to join us. And so when I did all this, that's why the all agriculture internship students and workers came out and they nicknamed me chairman of them in Copenhagen. Because everywhere you go and everyone who wants to consult the embassy, who wants to consult migrations, always ask Agri, how can I be like this? Because I was at least among the first people to be in Denmark through agriculture program. And today, because we came as Ugandans and worked hard with a lot of efforts, our Danish employers really got satisfied of our jobs as internship student, and so they gave us working contracts from because from Uganda we come as internship students for 1.5 years. And 1.5 years you're not allowed to extend your student contract. But because you've put efforts and you really like what you're doing, these Danish employers will see much value in you, the Danish farmers, and they give you a contract for 4 years in Denmark. And we are being paid like other normal people, and we are on the standard salary for workers in Denmark. However, we as agriculturalists in Denmark, of course, we are the farmers of today and we are the model farmers of tomorrow in Uganda. We have got a lot of challenges that are hindering us and also hindering our brothers back in Africa than the good things we have got on the table. So if you can allow me share some little good things we have got since we joined Denmark, and also I can give little challenges that we are facing because all of us in this community we are very new. We have not more than 5 years and above in Denmark. Like me talking in front of you, I have 3 years in Denmark. So if a person like our chairman, Mr. Ntende, comes in and say he has 30 years in Denmark, then I really still need much advice from him and guidance how I can get out of where I am to where he is. So among all these things, we have got good things. We have got skills and experience in modern farms in Denmark. And I want to assure you that Ugandans about agriculture and development, we have a lot of good skills we have gained from the Danish farms. So uh, about that, I like I like to congratulate the Danish farmers who really gave us a chance to be in their farms and practice modern agriculture. Uh, Another good thing we have got is money. You know, in life, if you don't have money, life will not move. But this is true, and that's why today we have Stanbic Bank with us. If you speak Stanbic Bank, I will think of money immediately. So I salute Stanbic Bank and I salute the education they have given us today. And I want to assure that we are going to be in touch with the Stanbic Bank as the group of agriculturalists from Uganda. And we would request this Stanbic Bank to give us a platform as agriculturalists in diaspora. It's more like we request like a diaspora desk for agriculture, whereby because Stanbic Bank came looking for investors to Uganda, but also Stanbic Bank needs to prepare these investors before living in Uganda, because Stanbic Bank needs to grow these investors to diaspora, and then when they get diaspora, they give back the seeds. So in this way, we have got that challenge like we have many of our colleagues in Africa who wish to come here, but they don't have money to reach here. And there are opportunities for them to get in Europe, but they don't have the input. So if there could be any preparation for Stanbic Bank and the agricultural institutions for these students to be here and then they pay back and also invest, because paying back means investment. So it could be a good idea for Stanbic Bank today to think about helping these needy students in Africa that are planning to be in Denmark, but they don't have the input that is required. And then when they get here, they could refund back the money with all the investment ideas that the Stanbic Bank had prepared for us in the future. So I think we need to discuss more about with Stanbic Bank on that note. So about more good things we have got, like me agri speaking amidst you, I have really got exposure. You can just imagine from Rukunjiri district down in Kanungu, Denmark, exposure and culture and new friends. Amidst here, I'm talking to you guys, but I want to tell you that I have got more than the friends I expected to have in life. And the culture I have adopted, the snow culture and the food culture, it's really a different culture than the culture we have in Uganda. So this is some of the good things that we have gained from agriculture in Denmark and the entire Europe. So, however, on the other hand, we have a lot of challenges that are really facing us. And since we are very new in Denmark, we can't really have people like all the people, all the elders who can discuss with us among these challenges so that we come out of them. So to certain extent, we always find big problems among ourselves. For example, we have a big challenge and it is alarming: lack of jobs and working contracts in Denmark. We as students, when we come to Denmark, we all know our country, Uganda. We love it, we support it, but we are here for green pastures and we really don't want to go back home because we are all below 30s, we are still energetic, and we need more jobs and experience. So after 18 months, we always have problem to find more jobs or more working contract with people or with Danish farmers, because there is a lot of competition in these Danish farms. and that's where we call in like elders to guide us. How can we diversify the economy in Denmark? For example, if I'm an agriculturalist or I came in agriculture, but before I studied to be a doctor, how can I cross lines from being a doctor to an from being a farmer to a doctor in Denmark? Because we don't have people who can guide us. But today, it was my first time to be on this platform, and I feel really very good that people have shared their stories and have picked something from it. And I guess my friends are also online watching this, how it has happened. So another problem, we have a problem of information, network, and advice from you people. We are very young. We don't know what money is used for. So when we get to Denmark, we have money that we never touched in our pockets and in our banks back in Uganda. And and you all know this excitement. You are all the people who've been in money and investments. But we are young people, young youth, young Ugandans who had never even hold like a 5 million salary per month in our pockets. And now you reach in Denmark, your average pay is 5 million. So I think you can just give an image how this person could be thinking at that point. So we find ourselves boiling the brain about this money. So we we really call upon for your advice and more mobilization, because where we come from, we never hold this money in our accounts. Even when Stanbic checks on my account when I was coming to Denmark, I had zero. And now I have money that I didn't expect to have. So you find like when you get to Denmark, your dreams comes satisfied very fast. A- At the young age, your dreams are satisfied, so you'll start buying like big iPhones, big, because we lack the investment and we lack the advice where to put money. Because my dream was to get 20 million Ugandan shillings, and now I have 50 million, so it's like double. And this affects everyone in the community. That's why you meet these Ugandan boys when life is different in Copenhagen. Uh, I think that point is finished. I have another point, like what we face most in our farms. We have a problem of competition. We are being in this labor market in Europe. We have a lot of competition with other third world countries like Nepal and Vietnam, but still Uganda is leading. We still call more like our leaders in diaspora to reach to these Danish farmers and comfort them that Ugandans are good people and they work good. And of course, we have good names also. But we need more market to reduce this kind of competition in the job press. Uh, Another last reason I could give.
Mr. Angry.
Summarize.
Another last,
uh,
yeah, let's do the last one. Kwano.
I'm finishing with this last problem we have as the farmers in Denmark. It is the problem of input. Coming to Europe is very expensive than what you think to invest in Africa. Like when you plan to come to Europe, you need a lot of money. You studied, you like in Uganda, you studied and you have skills, and you like agriculture, you like to get more skills and new skills. But when you turn to Europe, when you want to come to Europe, then you'll be forced to sell your father's land, which has been keeping for you for decades, to get that money to come to Europe. So I wish there could be some way whereby our Ugandan government can look into this, because when we come and work, we bring back the taxes and the income and the investments. but many people are being held back at home because they can't raise this money that is being requested for someone to be here. And this problem is always among our agents that connects us to these jobs here. So we request that, like, when these agents are making the price or determining the price of someone to be here, the government at least should put a little bit control about the price, because we find ourselves coming here working all the years but then paying back to the agents, not developing ourselves.
May I please comment after the current speaker?
Yes.
So all these problems has been our problems as people working in Denmark in agriculture sector, and we still do want to work. We like Denmark, we like Uganda, and I hope everyone could really join me to thank the whole entire team. I have a big team behind me that is watching me through agriculture and the people in the slaughterhouse, the butcher. So I
Wow.
like to send my greetings to them. And you guys, thank you for trusting in me. It's your chairman speaking, and I hope we can achieve it together. So thank you very much.
What a great, he's really doing a terrific job.
If you have any question, it can come on board.
I just have a little submission to what he said, that they don't have protection to their contracts. Like they come in and because of competition, they are sometimes let down before they finish their contracts. I don't know if there is anyone who can help them with registering with the unions that protect workers, so that the farmers actually can live up to the conditions and the terms of the contracts they have with them. They have that right as people who pay taxes in Denmark.
You have the social democrat minister. He will be expert on that.
Yeah. So Honorable Francis can answer that.
Yeah, thank you. I've actually been waiting and excited for just such a story. First of all, I just want to salute you, Dr. Agri, for all your story. That is what makes us strong with people like you. Your story is going deep into my nerve, and I already realized that from the Matters Day we met for the first time, even though I've seen you
Yeah.
before. You are very familiar. You are known. By the way, you are known. I have to say that right to you, and I'm here very grateful, and I think your story should go further than where we are right now. And this story, I'm not going to do it alone. I may need the help of our representative, Her Excellence, the Ambassador, together with me. And I think this story should go up to the State Minister of Denmark. I will make it happen. And stories like this, it has been actually covered recently. A week ago, it's been covered, and people like you are the people that actually has created the fundamental of Denmark, and as well reflecting back home. And I will be so proudly to work with you hand in hand with the guidance of Her Excellence, the Ambassador, and the Deputy Ambassador, Head of Mission. We do something together like that. I will tomorrow. I will be together with one of my friends, one of the ministers, actually for environment. Is my closest friend. I will be able to share these informations and see what we can do together. And all in all, please, all those who are with us, let's clap for this great guy, great man, great man. Thank you so much.
Dr. Agri is a leader in making, from deep in the village to deep in the village, but still on top.
Yes.
I would like to welcome now remarks and feedback from the people that are here. If there is anything that you would like to say, your submissions, that the embassy and other leaders among us that can help us with in ways of helping our community and how to work together better. Who would like to share something or give a remark?
Okay. I'm always caught in crossfires. Definitely. I don't know if our brothers online can seeing me would be okay, but also hearing will be much more better because the appearance really doesn't tally with what I might love to say. Normally, I'm caught in crossfires of tech issues, but normally, Mr. Cassidy. But anyway, once again, I would love to appreciate our brothers and sisters who are online, the panelists that side, people on Zoom, those who are on YouTube. You're really doing incredible work. But basically, those who have availed yourselves to be here, it's really a plus. Just wanted to say something little, just to supplement on an issue of networking. I'm visible here because of networking, basically, of which even our panelists have been really uttering this. A gentleman, Peter, really is the man I always talk about. He handled me well when I was coming here. But I would have loved to tell the story in the interest of time, but I just wanted to emphasize this. Can we do more of this networking? Today, this convention here, me, I'm looking at it as a fruit of once a convention which was UCN, still organized by him, were in Finland. But this time around, it's more of Ugandan, involvement. But the other one was companies in the Nordics who were sponsoring and then trying to do the needful, courtesy of also the Ugandan embassy. But this time around, I feel we are so much involved, our own. So in this element of we being owning it, let's keep on networking. Let's ask the right questions. Sometimes there's a previous speaker back in the convention, one just came and said certain key areas. We normally waste too much time asking wrong questions to people who are new. Case in point, I will say, how are you? In there, how are you? But it would have been, how are you? Then the questions after asking that, we're just here networking. After asking, how are you? Try to involve this person. Who can I help you to meet? If we could ask the right questions, it could ease our networking. Otherwise, let's keep on connecting and I wouldn't love to waste too much time. Allow me to just stop here. But in all profiles, try to engage in all these things. You never know when you're going to be helped. It can be speech in the spiritual world. It can be, education, political side. It can be business. You never know who you need to meet to make things right for you. Otherwise, please stay blessed.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Very shy. I'll not say it. Known by the names Gloria, Elanancha Gloria. I would like to appreciate everyone that has come today. I'm really happy that I'm here. I can't find the right words. I didn't expect this. When I came in, I'm like, Ugandans, we don't participate in anything. The chairs were empty. But I want to thank me for joining this. And I want to thank my pastor. Actually, she is my pastor. She was like, I think you need to go here. I'm like, okay, what is it all about? She explained, but I was like, because I'm the carrier of her luggage, I'm like, let's go. But I'm actually very happy to be here. I came in Europe. I came here in 2000. 13. And so many things happened. I'm not going to go into details. We used to work too hard to make ends meet. And after us waking up from 2 o'clock in the night up to 12 or 6 in the evening, time came and I'm like, is this the life that I want to live for the rest of my life? As you know, as in these European countries, we always say, I'm here 5 years and I'm going back. I'm here 10 years and I'm going back. We never go back. The people we found here, they're always going back and they're not going back. I've seen some go, 6 months they can't endure where they've gone and they're back to the same routine. So I asked myself, is this what I really want? So time came up and I always tell my friend that we need to find something. We need to find something. We always share. So one time I'm like, let me just stop these things. I need to go back and better my life. I went back to school, you know, that language is not, it's not the favorite of all. But we had to go back. You know, we leave our countries, we have this education. Professionally, I'm a technician, like in a laboratory. I've even forgotten because I didn't, I practiced it when I was back home. And when I came here, I had to start from a NIN class. What is that? Ninth grade.
Yeah.
I think it's like senior 4 in Uganda. I had finished that. But because of the language and everything, you cannot just enter the system. I wanted to upgrade maybe to technician in a laboratory, but they told me that I had to go for 5 years. And I couldn't endure. I'm not 20 years anymore. So I told myself, okay, I just went for an education and I finished it. But still, it's the same routine. You go for the education, but still the money is not enough for you. So I opened up I went back for another course to do digital marketing. So that's what I'm doing. It's saving a little more time. And if I want to add on that, I do my professional job, but at the same time, I do my online job. So we need to figure things out because we're not getting younger anymore. We have to think more. And this convention has made me like open really widely my eyes and my ears. What I have learned a lot and I'm going to put everything into consideration. I'm not gonna miss this again. And Mr. Please, please try to come to communicate to us because this I have loved and I hope I'm not stopping here. And we appreciate you, Madam. Thank you for organizing this. And Stanbic Bank, we are really, really, really happy to be here. Thank you guys for coming.
Yes, someone wants to say something. Just adding a few remarks. Yes, if you need some teaching in digital marketing, we have Mr. Peter here, and now we have Gloria. So as you were doing the 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. job, you can already study something online to see how you get out of the loop of the continuous rat chase.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Doreen Auma. Back home in Uganda, I come from Busia. Yeah. And in Europe, I live in Norway, Oslo. I'm so grateful that I had to travel all the way from Oslo to come and attend this convention. When I was talking to Mr. Ntege here, we've talked about this convention. I was like, how come I've never heard of it? And he was telling me it's the first of its kind in its nature. And I'm like, I have to be there. In Oslo, I work as a logistics consultant and I have a business. When you come to Oslo and ask for Aunt Kabalagala, you see me. Like men have said, we have a challenge of integration when we come to Europe. And it happened to me. I came to Europe in 2010, but I want to tell you that I started going out to meet Ugandans in 2018. For 8 years, I was living in my own cocoon, not knowing where to go, not knowing who to talk to, not knowing who to approach. But with this kind of gatherings, we get exposure, we get to learn more people, we get to get more contacts. And I'm so grateful. Actually, in my circle, they say, you go to football, you'll find Doreen there. You go to a park party, you'll find Auntie Pan there. So I'm really grateful for the Ugandan community in Europe for putting us together, bring us together, and guiding us through wherever we need help. Thank you so much for the organizers, and I'm so happy that I'm the only Norwegian in this room. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doreen. Oh, and I forgot something which Mr. Cassidy reminded me of, that he came and said, I heard also you had a women's circle. You talk about it. The savings that bought my house, the first deposit, came from a women's circle within our community. I had some little savings, and when my turn came to get, for us, we would be receiving 40,000 Danish krona every second month. So that's like 22 million Ugandan shillings at once. So it was what was missing to handle the legal fees for me to get my home deed, and it came from that circle. And many people did many things within that circle. So when you come to the community, find your people that you can trust. And I heard something about Stanbic Bank giving us an opportunity of opening up actually group accounts. We are planning to do that circle because now we are done in investing in here in Denmark. We want to start doing some things back home. And we need to receive money there in bigger currency so that we save money there. And it's very easy to transfer it to different bank accounts when it's your time to get the money. So I just wanted to say that. Is there anybody else who has remarks? And yes, and yes, after Mr. Moses, we have the ladies behind. I request Mr. Moses to come first. Then, is it okay? Yeah. Okay.
Just on behalf of Mr. Moses, I've been communicating with him on phone. It's something very little because it has been caught up, but it's something you wanted to say also to emphasize on networking and then appreciating. Then he's saying when he was contacted by Mr. Peter Ntende, he looked at it as a big network so that he can showcase. So it was not by default that people are watching live using Euroforum. Mr. Moses we're talking about is the CEO of Euroforum, UG, the platform we are using here. But he's not working alone. Because of network, I was trying to also emphasize I'm also visible on the same team. We are not alone. We decided to make it a network of different countries. In Finland, we're having a lady, Lady Samantha. In Stockholm, she's not available. She's also encountering some other activity happening right now. She's called Jorin. In Uganda, we have Irene, we have Nagolola. I mean, it's a network, inclusive. Also, we have also our guardian. I call him a guardian or patron from the USA. You see, we're trying to create a network. So, just emphasizing from what he has been telling me, please, let's keep on networking. You never know what you're going to get from that person. Yeah. That was his message. Thank you.
May I have a comment next, MC?
Yes. Yes, please. You can go ahead as she's coming. No, you come.
All right. Thank you so much once again. My question is very, very brief. Or it's not a question, but it's a kind of awakening question, so that we all as Ugandans in the diaspora, sometimes we think about the positive things, development in terms of financial development, and as earlier we talked about what Stanbic Bank. What about when we are on the complete difficult moment, when we lose our fellow Ugandan, and we stand in a situation where things are very difficult? What do we do? Shouldn't this be maybe a moment that we find a solution? Not only speaking about Ugandans in Denmark, in Sweden, in Finland, but generally in the diaspora and as well in the Nordic countries. Could this be something that we also put it in a thought, and by the end of the day, we find a solution? What do we do? How do we do it? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very, very happy to be here, and I'm so humbled and honored to be with the ambassador. Thank you very much. I had a few questions that I wanted to ask about online banking, like if we can be registered, those who want. And also I want to add on what Mr. Agre said, Dr. Agre, like we people, we're here and we don't know how to use our money. We get the money that we never expected in the first place. And then you end up not knowing where to keep it. And when you keep it with you, you're gonna end up spending it like wisely without knowing what to do. So yeah, exactly. So that would be so good if we get more advices from you that knows better. And then the last one is to thank everyone who attended the event and the good information we got from this event. Thank you very much.
Okay, wow, it's so inspiring to hear all the stories, and I believe that everyone has a story. Maybe we've not shared everything, but it's really encouraging to be in a community who wants to go further together. The keywords which I've been writing here from all the things we've talked about is the importance of networking and knowing, the people around you. We are going up. The second thing is to be of service, in your community. This is where we are. So if you are at your work, in your community or in Uganda, wherever you are, be at service, be available. Then the third thing I wrote down is to develop our skills continuously. And I think this is what it's about, build on your knowledge every day. There's no going back. The fourth thing I wrote down was to collaborate with others. I don't know, maybe it's a good idea to have like different clusters, maybe in line of interest. So we can have, it's more manageable in that way as you grow bigger. Then I written down something, hold someone and guide someone. I do translation work and sometimes I meet Ugandans who have just arrived here and I'm sitting there and, my job is just to translate. Your brother's keeper. But, you can see, you understand where the person is coming from and they are coming to the system, they know nothing. And it would be really good to have, I could chip in a word and say, okay, there is this group, and like you mentioned, there is a lot of mental stress in the beginning when people arrive here, and if they can get a helping hand or they know that, okay, here I can ask these questions, here I can grow personally as they navigate the system, so not everyone has to go through the long journey of, of settling in. And then I wrote another one, which is exposure. Exposure is it's a resource we have and we should use it. The knowledge and the skills we have. We are a resource to our government, we are a resource to our communities, and we should help one another. And also to ask the right questions. We are here, you should have some kind of reason why you came. Has that been achieved? If not, still reach out, and then we can build on that. Yes, and there was a list of challenges. I don't know if I should go through those or come again.
I'm ready to go through them then.
Yeah, no, I think Dr. Agri went through most of the challenges. Yeah, but I mean, we have business people here.
Yeah.
It may be there are some people who have personal challenges, but there is also different challenges when you do business. So I don't know if anyone behind there. I see that they're leaving, but I know they're business people. But I mean, like, it should be that there is an open space to air out which challenges you have as business people, but to diversify our skills, lack of jobs, information networks. So these are the things that we should look at, the challenges and how we can solve those challenges. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much.
Can I add on one thing? I have a question, and especially for you also. We met the Diaspora Africa in Accra, in Ghana. Oh, sorry. Good. I met them, and they are a business partner for us. Are you a member of the Diaspora Africa? Because they have a big program. If not, we will support you so you can get some support. They have lots of interesting projects coming on. And the aim of Diaspora Africa is to bring back well-educated people with money to support Africa's growth. So this is a very interesting challenge for you. If you run Scandinavia, you should be involved in that.
Thank you so much. Just summing up a little bit, there's something which I wanted to suggest. If among us there are people who can help others with mental health, or you have a business, maybe we should create a portfolio and present it to the embassy. Can give us maybe a small dashboard that when people call, because they don't know what we do. So when somebody calls and they're having a hard time to deal with mental health, the embassy can tell, okay, you can talk to Pastor Maureen. If somebody has a business idea, or maybe we have lawyers among us, that they are aware that among our community, we have representatives in different sectors. I think that can help, that people can reach out more to where the base is, and the embassy can identify different kinds of business people and organizations so that, they can push on people to network with others. Yeah.
May I come in shortly? Just a comment.
Yeah, I'm going to try to catch up before they chase us. It's the time of the hall. But before we go, I just want us to do one thing. Because I said we have to choose one project before we go. I got a lot of project ideas when people were talking, and I just want to go through them at once. Then the second time, we are going to vote, and then we are going to choose one, which people who want to participate in will participate in, and same time next year, we should come here and show the results. Yeah. So the first project I'm thinking about is that we create an investment club, which should raise 1 billion Uganda shillings by the end of 2025. The second one, we should create a financial club that aims to double our incomes by maximum 3 years. The third one, that we create a UNDBC fintech company that aims to exit in 2030 by 1 billion. I don't know if that makes sense. So you create a company, an IT company, you get investors, and at one time, people buy companies in IT, and they should buy it for $1 billion. The fourth one, is that we create something I'll explain, AI agentic tourism portal. So like Uganda, we have tourism, real tourism, that's big business. And right now, you've had AI. I'm not going to preach it so much, but it's real. But there are very few portals which are agentic. So like AI and agents. So there's a website which will make people choose to go to Uganda. And we can create a portal like that and we say this is our AI-based agentic profile portal. And then we could invest into that one together. Another one, which I got from what we're saying, that we create a UNDBC job bank. So like on our website, there will be a job bank only accessible for the people who are registered in the organization. So what I want is that we choose, and the one you choose, the one with most votes is the one we go to work with. I will be writing a report and sending it to you people. But right now, I just want us to choose, raise hands, and then we just say, that's the one I want. And with investments and with clubs, just go with the instinct. If you feel this is good, this is stretching me, this feels impossible, that's the one we should go for. Yeah, the ambassador wants to say something before that, I guess.
So, thank you very much, Peter. I kindly request that you send all these to us so that we have enough time to consider which number to vote for. Because right now it's a bit mind-boggling. Unless you informed other participants other than me, if they know what's going on, I don't know which one I would support. I would support them all, but you want only one.
Exactly, Ambassador, that's just a gut feeling. I will send them all through with my explanation, but for now, we need a gut feeling.
Yeah.
With one.
A gut.
Just a gut feeling. You choose one, which feels impossible and interesting to you.
Mr. Peter, I just want to ask you to explain to me, maybe most people have gotten it, the UNDBC. What is this?
UNDBC, Uganda Nordic Diaspora Committee. That's the name which we came up with.
Okay.
Ambassador told me we need a website.
All right.
And we didn't have time to think. I got a gut feeling. I said Uganda Nordic Diaspora and the Baltics.
Okay.
Then I got a website.
Okay.
So this name we have to choose when we can always change it. So the gut feeling.
I would go with number 2. I don't know about the input with money.
Number 2?
Yes, yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Huh?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Also,
yes.
Remy voted number 2.
Number 2.
Gut feeling.
Yes, Moji voted
Mr. Charles.
1 billion.
I was thinking of AI.
AI.
Hey, there's also something behind it.
Yes, it's the agentic AI for tourism. So it's like a tourism portal.
Yes.
You know, there are people who make websites for tourism. Come and visit Uganda. Some of those are like websites which are not doing something in the background. Then the websites like for Dubai and for Singapore, I worked for a company where we're doing the back end, which was marketing engine. And those are the kind of things. But now the new websites are going to be using agents with AI. So you have an agent, like maybe 10 people, who are like spotting what you are doing online. And then they'll say, you visited Zambia, South Africa, and this one. And you know that these people have a bucket list of countries that have to visit this one. And they say, where should I go next? So that's one should find you and say, go to Uganda. That will give you all the reason why you go to Uganda. That's the portal.
Number 4.
Number 4. That's the feeling. Yes, please. Mr. Alpha, we are going to be opening an account for this one.
Mr. Chiwanuka.
Mr. Chiwanuka. Yes.
What do you want me to do?
To choose one project for us.
Why don't I choose for you?
Choose for us. You're part of us now.
I don't know the options.
Which one will get the loan in the bank?
Number 5.
There's a fintech which will exit with 1 billion in 2030. Yeah.
Yeah.
You put 1 billion.
Let's be more ambitious.
Yes.
Number 1. I'll go number 1.
Number 1, we make 1 billion. Our investment club, like we've been doing the circles, so we'll be here, and maybe other people will join us who are online. We have 100. But by the end of 2025, in our bank account, we should have 1 billion.
Number 1 has no points.
2025 is already here now. 2 months from now, a couple of months, 6 months from now.
6 months from now, we should have 1 billion.
I like to go for that mission.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, number 1, we are going back to number 1.
The number one here.
Correction.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Please, can we have also the online people to comment?
Oh, yes, please.
That's good.
The people that are saying that now, I can't, I'm voting for number one.
Yeah.
With they being part of that share of 1 billion, since they're just joining, maybe you need to explain that as well.
Yeah, so when you join a club, we will set up some rules and whatever. So we could say, we have 1 billion and we are going to use it to invest in agriculture. Because as you've seen, why I said these are insights and I didn't get time to explain as the ambassador said. Now, bring a lot of information about this. Because somebody was saying, we have a lot of farmers and we have some money which you don't know how to use. And then I said, if you're doing this one, and we said, for example,
No. Sit down. Up. AI. Should invest.
Okay, is it working?
Yeah.
No, just the first one.
Yes. And surprisingly, I worked for this company
Testing.
for 4 years. Yes, but I was working with Brutal. Yeah, so what I was saying is that for the investment club, if we have a target to raise 1 billion shillings by the 2025, then within that time when we are raising this money, we have to choose a project which we are going to invest in. So now I noticed that we have a lot of farmers who are here. This is great stuff. So could we do some agriculture project with this 1 billion? For example, could we open a farm? Could we find something which we can export to Denmark? And then we use this money. So 2025, we have the capital. And then we say, we are going to invest it into something.
And we are all shareholders.
Yeah. Mr. John.
I want to give you a blueprint. You put your money in a trust for starters, that's where you're collecting it from.
Yes.
Or you get a million shillings, either you are born, or eventually you can get farming when you have enough for diversification. But you can't use the seed money to get into a venture where you have to control. It's better when you have some serious money where you're now saying, there is some of the seed money
Yes.
to get into something we don't know enough, but just have an idea.
Yeah.
Then say maybe 25%, and then you increase that as you learn and see the value. And I
Exactly.
would recommend that
Exactly.
you start with the leadership project.
I'm learning something new. So we get this one, then we do the group need, and we go somewhere, and then maybe we have 3 billion, and then maybe we can get we can borrow maybe 5 billion from Standard Bank.
Yeah. Because you cannot borrow less. I mean, that's your what?
Yes, that's all see. This is that's it.
Exactly.
Yes.
I can't give you one enough.
Yeah.
You run away from me. And take it.
Yeah. Imagine that information is very expensive. We got it for free. But the project is there. I think we close the votes and we choose what we are going to take. People online, yes, please. Mr. Aligo.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so very much. I just feel this is really brilliant, and Chairman, thank you for bringing this onto discussion. My idea is that let's discuss this today, but then give it some time until tomorrow, where we take the final decisions. This will be our homework. We go and think about it, and then we clean it properly. And then what comes next is that maybe voting through what is important. There is a homepage or an app called Slido. I will share with you, Chairman. It could be able. We can post it here, and then people can vote, and then we can see what do we prioritize as Ugandans, both in the diaspora but also back home, what means a lot for all of us, and then we will go with that, and I think that way it really carry a good value, so that we don't just like decide it for the minority of the people that are present at the convention. Just a suggestion.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, but I totally agree that it would be good to do an online survey. So we can brainstorm here the ideas, and then yes, the people here voted, but then take it to the online such that the people can vote, and we can give it like maybe a week, so people can vote through, and then we say it's closed.
I totally agree. So we'll open an online voting section on our homepage for 1 week. 1 week is too much, but okay, 1 week. But this vote should count at least 50% maybe. Yes. Because people have been here.
They have been crossing and
yeah. So I'm going to put these votes, and maybe also at tonight's after party, the people who are not there, they're going also to get this list, and I'm telling them, then they can vote. So we see how many votes we have. And then there will be the voting you want to be for 1 week. So next Saturday we should cross the voting.
Yeah.
Then we should vote. Yes. So here we have 3 votes. 3 votes. Mr. Alig, are you not voting? Okay.
Yeah, that was done. It's not free because 2 of them cancelled. So you need the financial plan.
Okay. So 2 are cancelled. So this one has 3. There's 1 here. And there is 2 here. I didn't vote?
No, I didn't.
So anybody who wants to vote before we close?
Yeah, number 1.
Number 1.
Yes, wait to number 1.
Wait to number 1.
Number 1? So even my vote won't count. So at least we have, but okay, let me put it. My vote, I have to put it. But these are the votes which we have, and for me, I think this one is going to count. I think even in the online poll, this will be 50%, and this will start by counting like that. And then after 1 week, by this time next week, the vote will be there on the whatever. And then more explanations, as the ambassador said. But I think right now we are going to, maybe the MC is going to tell me what to do next, but I think the ambassador is going to.
The ambassador requested Mr. Chiwanuka to give final remarks first, then she will sum up. And I would also like to request, as I'm standing here, we would like a picture for our homepage with the ambassador and her team. It would be nice before they leave. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. I spoke to you earlier. I wanted to be here again. Thank you for investing the time to learn about what we do at Stanbic, but also learn about each other. I think it's been enriching. Hopefully everybody has gone away with something that they can take away and remember the afternoon about. For Stanbic specifically, I've left my business cards on the tables for those who haven't picked up any, some information about investments and so on, and other things we do. And I'll definitely keep in touch for those who have actually registered. Definitely keep in touch. I'll be a part of the community here through the websites that we've created. And also I'll keep providing more information. So I'll encourage you and anybody else that you know that you can talk to should visit, and then they'll get to know about what we do and how we can be of service. If you don't remember anything I said, one of the things I said that I want you to remember is we have Jumbo, we have a partnership where we can actually remit money to Uganda. It's Jumbo Express. So if you don't know anything, download the app, try it out. If it works for you, maintain it as your preferred way of sending money to Uganda. The biggest thing about it is whatever amount you send is what is received by the beneficiary in Uganda. So there's a lot of value in that. Like I said, if you don't remember anything, at least remember Jumbo Express, try it out and let me know what you think. Thank you for the opportunity. I wish you the very best. Maybe lastly, before I forget, I'd like to thank the ambassador. I know I did that before, but she encouraged me to come through. To be truthful to you, and I'll say it, I initially didn't want to come. No, I didn't, I'll be honest. I wanted to prepare it, and I identified some people who would come, the ones who run the product. I actually do more than just that. But then it turned out they couldn't come anyway. I mean, they didn't have the visas. It took a while. She tried to help them get the visas and come through. And I traveled somewhere else before, a couple of weeks ago. I was very tired. I'm like, no, I'm really not coming. But of course, I kept in touch with Peter, and the ambassador actually went all the way to the CEO of the bank and said, this guy has to come, we need the money to facilitate some of the things. So I felt guilty, and I came. But I would like to thank you for the encouragement, and to Peter specifically for putting this together, actually, and everybody else who has helped. And it's not over. I know there's another part in the evening which is actually more popular, I understand. But so far, I'd like to thank Peter, I'd like to thank the ambassador for putting this together. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. I'll put the name of it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Some people were asking for account opening.
Yeah, I do have some forms. For those who want to open up accounts, unfortunately, the online portal is not enabled for Diaspora opening right now. So it will be physical. Yeah, but I'll help you through the process if you want. I've already opened up a few accounts, and those who are interested, I have the forms, and I'll put them together for you. What I'll do also is I'll leave them behind with Peter and I think the community here. So whoever wants, they can always open up the accounts and send to the documents. The most important thing is you have to have a national ID. So if you have a national ID, we don't have no conversation, unfortunately. Yes, please. There's only one national ID that I identify with. We can't help.
Another discussion.
Yes? It's a travel document, not an ID. We don't use it. Yes, please. The one that he's talking about is a different one. They can register it nominally, but in terms of opening up an account, that's different as well. Bank account, that is. It's a requirement. It's not the bank's requirement, the central bank. It's an act of parliament. For anybody to open up an account in a financial institution in Uganda, you have to have a national ID. It's an act of parliament, not really. Jomo Express, you just need the personal, for its personal number here, Go ahead, sorry.
So if I use like someone like my mother's or my father's, it will automatically be his name or our name.
Yeah, you open up an account for them. But for the Jomo Express, you don't need a national ID for Uganda. You do it. You can just open it up, download the app, and you can send to a FlexiPay wallet in Uganda. So you don't have to have national ID. At least for remittances, that is.
You know the reason why I asked is some of us as Swedish person, Swedish ID, so we don't have.
You can do dual citizenship. You know you're allowed, eh?
Yes. So can you get an ID of him?
Yeah.
That's when the embassy is coming in hand to solve that with time.
Yeah. But if you're Ugandan by descent, you cannot be discouraged. Don't be so proud of having a citizen's passport or whatever it is. Trust me, don't forget about where you came from. Not just proud, have a national ID. I'm just messing with you, know what about it. Thank you.
But let's clap with Mr. Jumali. Thank you so much. And I think we will have copies of opening bank accounts.
Yes, we will digitalize it on our platform so that Seriously?
Let's welcome the ambassador to give us a final remarks. And we thank you so much for your patience throughout the day.
Thank you very much once again, and it's a great pleasure and honor to be here with you. At the beginning of my comments, I said it's me to pick ideas from you and wisdom. And truly, I've picked wisdom, ideas, and how to help each other. But the most catching feeling I got was to see that you are all encouraging each other to have courage, to have the will to go on, and to be able to raise again. You've been discouraged by different things, but you are now determined to change your path and do just that. Don't let anybody pull you down. No, you shouldn't. Let's all have the will to go on, to improve our lives, to excel, to meet our dreams. However small or big, let's go there and try it all. I would like also to touch on the sorry, the national ID topic. At the beginning of my conversation with you today, I also talked about our intention, our meaning the Uganda embassy, to have an event where we shall come and address immigration and consular issues. This has been, and for a long time will be, the most challenge, actually a cross-cutting challenge for diaspora. We know that the government has worked hard on it, is streamlining it, the national IDs will be issued, and that's the beginning of really making yourself a Ugandan. You all live here in the Nordics, you have your IDs. In Denmark, they are yellow. I don't know what color they are here. Those who have lived in Denmark should tell us what, and now they live here in Sweden. Where did that lady go? Your IDs here in Sweden, what color are they? Pink. Yes, you have those, whatever you are doing, you need the IDs. Be it opening account, be it renting a house, whatever we do in Europe, we have those IDs. And that's what the Ugandan government has done, to put the national ID in order to streamline whatever we do, to have data. We need to know how many we are officially. We need to know how many children, and therefore we are able to project how many primary schools, secondary schools, universities, tertiary, TVETs. We need all this, and it all starts when you have a national ID. So we promise we shall make a big effort to go to different Nordic and Baltic countries to give you that service, so that you are able even to enroll to get a mobile number. That's how important it is. And our Stambik gentleman talked about opening accounts. It starts with that ID. He talked about dual citizenship. That's another service the embassy is going to bring to you. You need to, if you are interested in having a dual citizenship, it is possible. If you have an old passport that you never renewed, get it out. We are now talking as Ugandans. Right now, actually, this is Uganda. So I'm talking to you in Uganda, to Ugandans. Some people came under circumstances that you lose your passports. If you have lost that passport, but you have a way to retrieve the passport in that lost corner and find the passport number, it is easier and faster to streamline your nationality. If you don't, the embassy is mandated to help you to reclaim your nationality. We are paid monthly. Don't let us take this money free of charge. Come and demand your rights. You must have your passports, you must renew them, you must have your dual citizenship, you must have your national ID, and we are willing and proud and able to bring the services to you. I would like to thank Arthur, who accepted being pushed by me. True, I pushed him. But I thank you very much for showing up. I thank you, Mr. Ntende, quite a lot for accepting to go through this new program for us. But I would like to assure you that this is just a beginning. It's going to be an annual event from here on. And it will be rotational from countries of our accreditation. It will always be a history for the people in Sweden that it started here. And I would like you to support it fully because you are honored, and none other than Mr. Ntende, who actually ran away from Denmark. But so is life. He knows he has better contacts probably here. I don't know, and I don't want to know right now. But it's going to be an annual event. And my last request is that we have another annual event, the Euro Tournament football. I would like to invite you all to join our fellow Ugandans who are playing football. And this year it will be in Finland. And this year it will take place from 4th of July up to 6th. 6th will be a family event where we shall have picnic, rain or shine, we shall have picnic. And we'll, last but not least, I would like to thank you very, very much for joining Ugandans from morning until now. We look forward to cleaning our cities with your help. With those words, thank you very much. Let us meet tonight under different circumstances. And let's enjoy, let's support each other for God and my country.
I love the choice of words.
May I have a comment? May I have a comment?
Someone has a comment.
When I talk,
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wish our Her Excellency, the ambassador, could still remain standing where she was having her speech, because I just, on behalf of Ugandans, Your Excellency, please come back to where you are.
On behalf of Ugandans.
Please, I'm begging you. You are my good friend. Yes, there you are. Wonderful. On behalf of Ugandans and as a politicians here in this country, in Europe, in the diaspora, we are so grateful for you. You are one of the first ambassadors who has brought Ugandans together. You are one of them who has given us opportunities. You are one of them who think very positively for Uganda, the Republic of Uganda. I am very honored to work very closely with you. On behalf of the Ugandans in the diaspora and as a politician in the diaspora, I respect you, I salute you, and please don't forget us. Be close to us.
Yes.
And something I did not know about you, actually you're a very good choir leader. You did excellent thing in my municipality, and I want to send my word of gratitude from my mayor, my boss, to you for being here and representing the Ugandans and bringing the flag of Uganda to Nashville. And now we are in the Scandinavian. We are so grateful for you. Peter Tende will finish the last words. Thank you so much, Ambassador. You are our own. You are the right one. Thank you so much.
Can I just
Thank you. And I want to give you an advice. We talked about networking. We have 750,000 Swedes living abroad. That's 10% of our origin people. And since 20, 30 years back, we have a network, Sweden Abroad, who is advisor to the government when it comes to all these questions you have addressed today, and also in voting process, etc. Because there's lots of different kind of rules, tax rules, insurance, student visa, lots of if you're studying abroad and then you go back to Sweden, it's not valid. So we are working with that. I'm their representative in Turkey because I live there. Now I will be representative in Africa soon. So Sweden Abroad is a very good role model for having diaspora contact with the government, especially with the embassies. So this is a role model you can cut and paste. And if you're interested, I can set up a meeting with them. They have their office in Stockholm. So that will be a pleasure for me because I see that this is an excellent network to copy and paste.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that opportunity. You will link with our chairman in regards to that. I'm supposed to close with a prayer, so but the ambassador is leaving. Before we close, can we take a picture for our website? All of you around. Without Mr. Cassidy, he's not going to be in the picture, he's going to take the picture.
All recorded.
Let's pray.
Hello, please.
Come on, you can at least smile, guys. Come on.
Those who, please, you can, those who have time, you can stop by the Uganda is going on right now. Visit the website. And the other part, of course, tomorrow it should also be Thank you very much.
Mukwano agenda katinieno ngakaba tunula mpwangali wazawa fe amazima twalinga bakinywi ganonyaze mwatu wanonyakwebambi ngaze wemba wobagwe wandeka wenda kwenzita.
Yes, the Diaspora. They are all the Diaspora Africa. So this is, I will if you send me an email and tell me who you are, so then I will get you.
Oh, I will.
Because as you see, this was the vice president, and this woman, both of those are from US.
Well, a big thank you to everyone who has been with us. It's been quite a conversation where we believe that some impact has been released. And I believe we shall be having more and more of such, like the way the ambassador said. I have been a little bit interrupted, but it has been a segment, at least by virtue of what the ambassador said. We shall be having more of this as an annual event, but on behalf of Euroforum, courtesy of the Ghana Embassy, Stanbic Bank, and then the man in question who made this one, Peter Tende. It's been really a wrap. But people online, yes, we can't thank you more, but people, you've done really good work. Your insights, initiatives, they're really so perfect. But let's keep on, the type and then keep on commenting and leaving all the questions worth to be given. We shall be going into another segment of networking, and this time about is going to be an edutainment, where we're having artists from Uganda, at least to take us through the next, session. But for now, goodbye. We shall be meeting into another interlude, aka Smoggy. Goodbye for now.
Don't run away, Smoggy. Come back.
Okay, Mr. Aligo. Unless
Please
when you
come back. Be in the camera.
Okay.
I have a few questions.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Then I represent him. We know him.
Oh yes. All right.
Yes.
All right. Now things are working.
Yeah.
What,
working. So we thank you.
give us a conclusive, word on how this convention has been so far, and what do you think it's going to happen tomorrow? Give us a view on that.
So this is something we were waiting for. Really, it came in the right time, and I would wish whoever didn't participate this time, so that they do it no longer away immediately. But all in all, it is awareness, waking up, unity for everybody for investment, and we are lucky that we are joining up with many intellectuals and many expatriates who can kickstart this thing to go ahead. And I really urge everybody who will have a chance to this live stream and all the stuff we've been doing here, so that they come in and we join hands, togetherness. We have had all the stories, and also particularly that it can be made. Mr. Francis Arigo, thank you very much for sharing your story, and all those who shared. Everything is possible if the zeal is good and the determination is good. So
it's always not so good to rush things. Rome is not built in one day. Things goes on one step at a time. A frog jump at its best. And looking behind you, the MC is behind you, and the Smoggy is behind you. If you could bring the MC here and Smoggy, and let's hear exactly this. For the first time, this convention is happening, and what can what can we do best, what can Ugandans in the diaspora, but as well as Ugandans back home contribute to these kind of engagement, development, because at the end of the day, this goes back home. And when I say back home, it's back to Uganda, and especially looking at the youth, that we could make at least a change, an impact on them.
True. That is very good, really. And that is the main goal of this kind of these conventions and community gatherings. So we hope this milestone and breaking out of everything will continue to be something we would love to keep on. So thank you for your everything input, and thanks for everybody who came in. This is just the beginning.
Thank you so much, Joel. Thank you so much, Joel. You have done excellent work. Before Smoggy comes in, I think the audience, those who are watching online, should give you a hand. And Smoggy, welcome back. I think you are the man. You're the man of the evening. You made us smile. Give us some kind of excitement. What has been cooking behind you?
Well, lots of things have really been happening, and we just say one, credit to the platform we've been using, that's Euroforum, to make it easy for us so that we're accessible, but also people online, it's really credit, because Mr. Legal, from morning, a man to be in your suits, a man of your stature to be on this until the end, I really don't take you, I can't just take you for granted like that.
How come, Mr. Honorable, you are in Denmark and we do not know you? Do you only stop in Nesebel or you?
Can I answer that?
Mr. Honorable has to answer.
Hey, welcome. I know that, and I am kneeling for that question, respecting it, and thank you for asking it. It is the time. This convention should be the opening eye for us.
Yeah,
that
because
Ugandans are going to be united. Ugandans are going to find all the hidden Ugandans who have been like in the caves, bring them out. Let's now have the reality. And this is happening. And you are the first one. Welcome from the cave.
We know we have not been in the cave. That the person to be on an honorable level, and we do not know you. It's something. At least I would have seen you on TV. At least I would have seen you in news. At least me was in a cage that nobody knows me. But you, an honorable, a full one.
You know, the thing is, I don't do the bad thing. You always appear on TV when you do the bad thing. It's because I do the positive things. So people don't like that story. Journalists like the bad words. When a dog bites a person, that is not a story. But when a person when you bite a dog, that's what they want. And I'm not part of that.
It's nice meeting you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sister.
Person.
Yeah, we will meet. We will meet.
Yes, Mr. Nico.
Yes.
Just in the interest of time, I just say thank you for availing time for us, and we need more of this to be available, because people are seeing people are seeing your purpose, your impact, your representation. Really, you're just the man. That's the word I would say.
Thank you so much.
And thank you. We shall be having more segments of you.
Let's do that.
On behalf of people who have been around or online, I can't thank you more, but you people, wow, it's the word I can say.
Hey, let me just end it by saying in my own language, my Kakwa, the Idi Amin, I said earlier, Idi Amin, Iete.
Idi Amin, Ieke. Adinyo Bae.
Iete. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. I'm out.
Please.
Bye. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Euroforum UG, where we address Ugandans from Europe, USA, Asia, Africa, Australia, and all over the globe. We share experiences, opinions, and expertise on current affairs, educative lifestyle, religion, and family matters. Follow, subscribe, and like our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Euroforum UG. You can also join our live shows every weekend on our social media platforms. For more information, visit our social media platforms or email us at euroforumug@gmail.com or WhatsApp us on +4740 574040. Euroforum UG, communicating with peers.